And we are back here at State Farm Fieldhouse, ESPN Wide World of Sports on the campus of Disney World alongside Lori Fogelman. I'm Derek Smith here from the state of Florida. Back in the state of Texas, Van Goodall, our producer at our studios in Waco. Appreciate you being with us here for tonight's game, Baylor and Davidson. Thanks to those of you with us on our Conecuh Sausage Countdown to Tip-Off. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork. Their patented blend of seasonings and smoked over a pure hickory fire. For that true hickory smoked southern flavor, Conecuh Sausage is always great on the grill. And perfect for tailgating. Pick up a pack and enjoy your family's favorite recipes in any meal of the day. Conecuh Sausage game day tradition and the official smoked sausage of Baylor Athletics. Pleased to have you with us here as it got quiet here in the State Farm Fieldhouse.
As soon as you were about to say that about the official sausage of Baylor Athletics.
Well, people got to know. We want the whole arena to know in here if possible. We appreciate Conecuh Sausage's sponsorship, but it did get quiet in here on us all of a sudden, Lori, as they're getting ready to announce the starting lineups. We'll give you the starting lineups now. When it comes to sports medicine and orthopedics, Baylor's Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics brings the home team advantage to Central Texans. First, for Baylor's opponents today, the Wildcats of Davidson University, wearing deep navy blue uniforms with red letters and numerals and white trim. They're out of the Atlantic 10 Conference, 4-2 on the year. Their lineup looks like this. The one forward actually leads them in assists this year, and in a way she runs the point, but she's listed as a forward, and it's their first starting lineup change of the season. Inez Garcia gets the start at forward. Garcia, a freshman from Spain, 6 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists per game. We'll see Adina Strauss, their center, come off the bench today. And then the guards, Katie Donovan, Kira Brundonks, Charlize Dunn, and Emily Bessel. Dunn is really the head of the snake for them, as the coaching staff has stressed to the players. 15 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist per game. She's a 3-level scorer. And you expect her to have a good game no matter who she's playing. She did against Miami. She did against Mississippi State. Today she's going to try to do against Baylor, but you also want to make sure that no one else steps up in her place. By the way, this is a very international Davidson team. Players from Spain, Australia, Greece, Belgium, Martinique, and Finland. So again, the starters for Davidson today, Garcia, Dunn, Donovan, along with Brundonks and Bessel for the Wildcats. For the Bears, same starters as we've been seeing, including the Big 12's leading scorer and the number 3 scorer in the nation, Talia Scott, 26 points per game at one guard. The other guard is Jenna Van Geitenbeek, leads the team at 5 assists per contest. In the front court, Bella Fauntleroy, 10 points, 6 boards per game. Dariana Littlepage-Buggs, 10 points, 10.2 rebounds. She is averaging a double-double through the Bears' first 5 games. And then Kirsten Johnson, 5 points and 4 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game, to go along with 2 blocked shots. For the Bears again, Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Fauntleroy, Buggs, and Johnson. Our starting lineups are brought to you by Baylor, Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. From injury prevention to enhanced recovery, team up with us to get back in the game. Baylor wearing the gray uniforms today with the green letters and numerals in gold trim. Baylor 4-1 coming off their first loss of the season. And Lori, we heard the starters. What we need today are for more of those starters to score. And I think what we are seeing is that it's a positive adjustment, but it's an adjustment when you have a dominant scorer on the floor. This is the first time really since going back to Nalissa Smith, that Baylor has had a player that you're really just sort of like, Nettie a little bit at times last year, Annette Vonleh, but sometimes just like, hey, let's throw her the ball and let her make something happen. She's got that ability, but I think what we're seeing is it takes some getting used to for players whose roles were different last year. And we might not be talking about this as much had Baylor hit 2 more shots against Iowa and won that game, but they didn't. And so maybe there's a positive learning experience here through a loss as this team learns to play with a dominant shooter.
Yeah, and Talia Scott is pretty amazing. Already scored 130 points in her 5 games, including 32 on Thursday against Iowa. But I think we all know that she was buckets coming in here. That's how her teammates describe her. They say she's just a bucket. As a freshman, she led Arkansas in scoring, averaging 22 points in just 20 games. Only played 3 games for Auburn, but averaged 20 points in those 3. But But I think this may be the first time that we've had somebody outside of the perimeter who can score so well and is so good putting the ball on the floor and dribble driving as well. But one thing that Coach Nikki really wanted to see against Iowa that she didn't is there was a lot of watching when Talia put the ball on the floor, drove, and was just and nobody moved around and adjusted themselves along the perimeter. So if Talia got stuck, she had somebody to fire and assist out to along the perimeter. Now again, the shots weren't falling much from beyond the perimeter, but still, just to remember to stay focused within the offense and remember to move. That was a key message from Coach Nikki today.
You know, when we talk about getting used to playing with a dominant score, that can sound kind of lame in a way, if I'm being honest, like what? But I think what you just described takes us inside that a little bit more. There is a tendency like, oh, that player can drive, she can get to the rim, she can hit a step-back three, she can do it. You still got to kind of keep playing even if the ball's not coming to you that possession because it's going to later. And again, Baylor actually got some really good looks against that zone defense of Iowa the other night. Bugs had some shots, just didn't hit them. So did Bella Fauntleroy, but I think there's still that adjustment for everyone. Yeah,
and then Bugs was really good on the glass. She just, of the 5 shots, they just would not go in. But Baylor wins the toss. KJ taps it out to Jana Van Geitenbeek.
We are underway here in Orlando. Bugs sends it over right side to Van Geitenbeek, who bounces down low to Kirsten Johnson. Ball lost out of bounds, last touched by the Bears. Looked like Johnson fumbled that pass. KJ did down low as Baylor bounced it to her in a crowd. This is a good defensive Davidson team. Here's a step-back three by Dunn. It's off the mark. Antalia Scott rebound. She's got to get off a lot of shots. So this is a team that likes to shoot the three, 21 of them taken per game. 30 seconds gone. Neither team has scored on their opening possession. Here's Van Geitenbeek lobbing it down low to a cutting Bugs. She is cut off by the defensive effort of Donovan, but shoots it in anyway. A little pull-up from the right block knocks it down, and the Bears are on the board first. And that quickly snaps Dariana Littlepage Bugs' one-game scoreless streak. Garcia on the drive inside the paint. Wants to spin around on KJ, who blocks her shot out of bounds.
Well done by KJ, just using those long legs to be able to move, but kept the player in front of her and really timed that block well because that's the kind of shot that Davidson likes.
Wildcats are going to play it into Dunn. They hit a cutting Donovan down low, too far beneath the basket. She's dedicated to reversing it up anyway, but misses. Rebound KJ. Here comes Van Geitenbeek ahead to a cutting Bugs who lost the ball. Bella Fauntleroy is there to grab it. However, she stumbles and falls and tied up there by Donovan. That's going to go back Davidson's way. I like that look there from Van Geitenbeek to a streaking Bugs ahead of the crowd, but just a little off the mark there. It looked like both she and Fauntleroy stumbled a bit. 2-0 Bears, a little over a minute gone in this one. Davidson ahead to Dunn. It is now Bessel driving inside on Jana and missing the runner. Offensive rebound Garcia partially deflected by KJ, and here come the Bears. Van Geitenbeek into the front court. Inside, penetrates the arc. Finds Bugs all alone down low for 2 more.
Boy, it's got to feel good for Bugs to see that ball go through. But what a pass from Jana, recognizing where Bugs was on such a high percentage shot. Baylor at 4-0.
Here is Donovan swinging the elbows. Bugs with a hand in her face. She unloads it outside to Garcia. Garcia takes the handoff right back from her. Gets in the paint where she's cut off by KJ. Shot clock at single digits as she floats it outside. Here's Brundonks, a good three-point shooter. Tries to get to the rim. Cannot hit. And then Baylor fumbles the rebound out of bounds.
Oh, KJ and Bugs were both battling after that rebound. And gives another 20 seconds and a possession to Davidson. So Baylor's defense yet again will have to rise to the occasion. They've so far they've allowed 6 shots, but none of them have gone in.
Inbound, oh, 2 done. Whoa. Smothered layup. KJ got her again. That's 3 blocked shots by Kirsten Johnson, who's already won over a season average of 2. Baylor had 11 blocks against Iowa on Thursday night. They've got 3 of them already here in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Well, she was really challenged, and I love seeing KJ just rise to the occasion here.
Garcia misses a 3 from the right side, but Donovan fights for the offensive rebound, chases it down in the right corner, and gives it outside to Dunn, their leading scorer. Dunn fires a fastball to Brundonks and then gets it right back from her. Hands it to Brundonks. She wants room to shoot a three but can't find it here. Kicks it in the corner to Garcia. Garcia drives to the bucket and is wild a miss there. However, Dunn there to clean up for the putback to get Davidson on the board. It's 4-2 Bears. 2.5 minutes gone in this one. Baylor with the ball on the 2-point edge. Van Geitenbeek is bodied by Bessel as she accelerates into the front court. That's the first foul on either team.
Boy, it's pretty amazing. You look at Davidson, they've already taken 10 shots. Baylor's just taken 2 because they've turned the ball over on a couple of possessions.
Here is Fauntleroy playing it into Talia Scott. Talia puts it on the floor, coming off her first 30-point outing as a Bear. She splits the defense, angles towards the basket, gets inside, and is fouled by Garcia. Free throw's
so
coming.
Amazing in space, being able to change direction and the direction of her dribble. Just so good operating in there.
She's got that ability to really kind of cut on a dime, to use the football terminology for a running back. And there wasn't a huge opening there, but she found it and earned the trip to the line. She's among the nation's top free throw shooters as her first one is good. She is tops in the Big 12 in free throws made and 4th in the nation. And she hits the first to make it 5-2 Bears. Talia Scott averaging 26 points per game in her first 5 contests as a Bear. And she hits both free throws here to give the Bears a 6-2 lead. Just about 3 minutes gone here in Baylor's second game in the WBCA State Farm Showcase. Bessel spins it over to Donovan, wants to drive right of the lane. Cut off by Talia Scott, tries to get some room and manages to roll it in. Had just enough leverage to get it up on the back rim, and it fell through to cut the Baylor lead in half. It's 6-4 Bears. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek accelerating to the right side of the floor, picked up by Bessel. She picks up her dribble, bounces down low to Buggs. Buggs tries to feed it in the corner to an open Fauntleroy, but the pass is knocked away out of bounds. That was Donovan who touched it last, and the Bears will play it in from the baseline. Bears with the basketball, up 6-4, 6:46 to play against their competitors from Davidson, North Dakota, in the Charlotte area. North Dakota, not North Dakota, North Carolina. Here comes Jana Van Geitenbeek, swinging it left side to Talia Scott. Head fakes a three. Now retreats beyond the three-point arc again. Picks up the dribble, finds Jana again. Shot clock is at 4. She's going to have to fire it up there. She gets beneath the basket, tries to find Buggs down low, and a whistle. And she may have stepped on the baseline. Definitely a whistle there. That appears to be what happened. It was about to be a shot clock violation either way, so gives it back to Davidson. Bears up 6-4. The Wildcats with the basketball. Here is Bessel bouncing down low to Garcia, who was fouled by KJ. KJ clearly had a hand in there, sort of wrapped under her arm. That's the first foul on the Bears. 2 have been called on Davidson so far, now 1 on the Bears, and Bessel will play it in from the baseline with the basket to her left. She's got to lob it up top to Donovan. Wants to back her way inside on Buggs. Gets in close. Buggs stays with her. She moves some leverage and slips inside, draws the foul.
Yeah, I guess Buggs got her. That was some great footwork, though, by Donovan. She also, like Talia, can just operate in there, just pivoting, just using that pivot foot and got Buggs up in the air.
Donovan was their second leading scorer last year at 10.1 points per game this year. 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 75%. Now 4 of 5 as she hits the first. If she hits the second one, would tie the game here early. Not quite 4 minutes gone in this one. Second free throw by Donovan. Spins out, and Fauntleroy cuts in front of Dunn for the rebound. She hands it off to Talia Scott, and here come the Bears. Scott with the dribble, crossing over to the left hand, bounces to a cutting Buggs. They're looking for Buggs, and she knifes inside for 2 more.
Boy, Buggs just got that basketball and just shot out of a cannon. And Talia Scott with the assist to Buggs. Great recognition by both players.
She has 6 of Baylor's 8 points, and now it is done. Kicking it to Timerson. Timerson, the first player off the bench for head coach Gail Fulks' team. There's a bounce in the corner. Garcia is open, and she misses the 3. Scott out there to get a hand in her face. Buggs clears the rebound, gives it to Jana, and here come the Bears again, up 8-5. Van Geitenbeek around a Buggs screen, kicks it right side to Fauntleroy. Lost the handle on the basketball, but it trickles outside to Van Geitenbeek. Here's Bucks down low. KJ left block, fouled on her way to the basket. Free throws are coming. She claps her hands in frustration. She wanted to lay that in and have a chance at a three-point play, but she'll get 2 free throws for effort.
And that was another emphasis is that, we heard you talk to Coach Nikki in the pregame show about, the Baylor should be able to be dominant in the post. You should be able to get KJ and Kyla and Kayla some opportunities at and ones.
Kira Brundonks with the foul, by the way, Lori. Sorry.
Okay. I just thought that was a great move and very quick. KJ knew what she wanted to do with the ball, but misses the first free throw.
One more coming. Baylor certainly has a height advantage here. Adina Strauss is 6'3". Charlize Dunn is 6'2", but most of the rest of their team is 5'11" or shorter. KJ, 1 of 2 as she hits the second. Now here comes Kyla Abraham off the bench. Also out there for the Bears, freshman Markayla Johnson. Markayla Johnson checking in for Jana Van Geitenbeek. So on the floor defensively for the Bears, you've got Markayla, Scott, Fauntleroy, Abraham, and Buggs. With the ball for Davidson, Adina Strauss is in for the first time, the big 6'3" post player. Strauss feeds it up top to Timerson. Markayla Johnson guarding her. Timerson puts it on the floor to the right side. Bears up 9-5 halfway through the first quarter. There is a bounce to Leafasa. Leafasa in the corner to Dunn. Dunn trying to clear some room on Buggs. Shot clock at single digits. Finds Strauss up top. She was open. Head fakes a 3. Drives inside on Abraham and banks it up too hard. However, the offensive rebound is chased down by Ziyaka, who then kicks it outside for a missed 3 and a shot clock violation.
Oof.
Well, Baylor stayed with them defensively there, and that brings us to our first quarter media timeout. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Bears have hit all 3 of their shots. Yes, all 3 of their shots, and they're 3 of 4 from the line, and they lead Davidson 9-5 midway through the first quarter here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage led by expert industry knowledge and a commitment to community. With kindness and integrity at the forefront, every agent is equipped to help you navigate the market and make the real estate journey your own. Whether buying or selling, feel supported with an award-winning agent at your side from first offer to contract and close. Magnolia Realty serves cities including Waco, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Temple. Learn more at magnoliarealty.com.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. If you get a call saying they're going to lock you in jail for missing jury duty unless you pay a fine, that's fake. Scammers use scare tactics to force you to act without thinking. Just hang up the phone.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor 9, Davidson 5. That's our score with 4:49 remaining here in the first quarter from Kissimmee, Florida, in the Orlando area. So far, Lori, you look, what's keeping Davidson in the game early is offensive rebounding, and that's why they've taken, hard to believe, 10 more shots than the Bears in a game the Bears lead by 4.
Yeah, so all 7 rebounds on the offensive end, but that stands to reason when Baylor is 3 for 3. But Baylor has also turned the ball over 3 times, which has allowed additional possessions for Davidson. But for Baylor, it is gratifying to see a player like Dariana Little-Page Buggs just hit that first shot on one of those fall-away jumpers along the baseline and then get a couple of really good runs at the rim and finishing. That is just huge for the Bears to be able to do that today because I think that just loosens everybody up. Buggs feels better. Talia assisted on one of those baskets. So, Talia has an opportunity to be a facilitator in some cases. Still not able to get a shot off yet. I don't know how much Bella Fauntleroy has touched the ball so far, but
One other defensive note, Lori, 3 blocked shots here in the early going for Kirsten Johnson. Baylor has nearly 8 blocks per game as a team, and they have the ball out of the timeout with Scott, Buggs, Johnson, Abraham, and Fauntleroy up 9-5. Here's Talia Scott feeding it over to Bella Fauntleroy, who is called for the offensive foul. Dunn took the charge there, maybe a little too much of a lowered upper body there. And Fauntleroy is hit with the offensive foul call. That's her first and the team's third.
Well, Bella had a tough game against Iowa, mainly because of foul trouble, and missed that entire second quarter. She was just 1 of 10, but she was still solid defensively, and that's what we need to see out of her.
Yeah, and Strauss quickly takes it all the way in on Abraham. She can bring the ball up the court like a point guard, and she just kept hunting and pecking her way down to the basket and then laid it in. That cuts the Baylor lead in half at 9-7. Bears have the basketball. Abraham, perimeter left, gives it off to Markayla Johnson. Puts it on the floor, sees a lane to the basket, drives inside, left and short. However, a foul called on Davidson. She drove in aggressively and will have a chance to earn those points from the free throw line. Markayla Johnson is 5 of 9 from the free throw line this year. A freshman out of Tulsa, 6-foot guard, 3.5 points, 2 rebounds per game. Foul on Adina Strauss. That's her first, and it's the 4th already on Davidson, which means Baylor will be shooting the penalty for the final 4:08 of the first quarter. Yuting Dong prepares to check in for the Bears on the next dead ball as Johnson's first free throw is off the mark. She's got one more coming.
That was another thing that was tough in that Iowa game. Baylor did not get to the line a lot until the second half, and they were just 10 of 17. And they've been so good this year from the free throw line.
Second one rattles out. Rebound, though, tipped and kept alive by Fauntleroy. Abraham comes out of there with it. Now she's triple teamed, needs a teammate to unload it to, and does to Buggs. Buggs slices to the left side of the floor, kicks it out to Markayla, gives it back to Buggs, fakes a handoff, puts it on the floor, drives inside and pushes it in with the left hand. Dariana Little-Page, Buggs for 2. Baylor's lead is 4, 11-7 with 3:52 to play.
And a second chance bucket because Kyla Abraham just still stayed strong with the ball.
Here is Dunn driving inside, kicking it out up top. Lifasa for 3, and she hits it. Leonafa, I beg your pardon. Candace Leonafa, 2 for 8 from downtown on the year, but she hits that one to cut the Baylor lead to 1. International team for Davidson. All but 2 of their players come from outside the U.S. Here's Talia Scott, seen a lane to the basket, taking it strong and laying it in. Backdoor cut there from the top left side of the arc for Talia Scott. She has 4 points, and the Baylor lead is 3 at 13-10. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in quarter number 1. Strauss dribbling out on the left side of the arc, finds Timerson, and a foul called as she initiates the drive. See if that was away from the ball or not. And we'll get the call on that as Yuting Dong checks in for the Bears. That is on Bella Fauntleroy, and that's her second foul. So second game in a row, she's in foul trouble. Yuting Dong checks in for her, but I think Dong was checking in for her too. He just couldn't quite get a stop, but she didn't play quick enough to keep Bella from getting that second foul. Timerson will play it in. Timerson out there with Donovan. Garcia, along with now in as well, Brundonks has returned, and Dunn. Baylor 13, Davidson 10. 3:01 to play first quarter. Timerson looking, lobs it to the top of the arc to Dunn. Out there being guarded by Buggs, finds a cutting Donovan who can't finish on the driving layup. Rebound Baylor, and here they come. It is Talia Scott bringing it across midcourt. Hesitates, head fakes, trying to get strong to the basket again. This time she can't quite finish, and the rebound is grabbed by Dunn. A little further back from the basket this time. Now an outlet ahead to a streaking Donovan, and she's fouled hard by Yuting Dong, who lands hard and is laying there for a moment. Free throws will be coming for Donovan, but Yuting Dong went airborne trying to just keep her from getting the bucket. She did keep her from doing so, but she is slow getting up. And I think she hit the floor pretty hard there, and it's going to take her just a minute to get up and be all right. Trainer Chalisa Fonza out to take a look at her, and now she gets up, and she is all right. But free throws are coming for Donovan, who's 1 for 2 today. That stoppage in play there as Chalisa Fonza checked in to take a look at Dong, gave the Wildcats a chance to go over and talk to their coach. Now Jana Van Geitenbeek will check back in for Dong. Donovan goes to the free throw line. She is 4 for 6 on the season. Baylor is 5 of 6 from the floor. They've held Davidson to 4 of 16, but it is crazy if they've taken 10 more shots than the Bears. As Donovan hits the first free throw. You know, Baylor has had 3 blocked shots that they were unable to get possession from, so that was an extra 3 shots. But nonetheless, they've taken more. Both free throws are good by Donovan. Here come the Bears. Jana Van Geitenbeek accelerating across midcourt, picked up by Donovan. Right-hand dribble. Jana Van Geitenbeek swings it over to Scott, flips it outside to Buggs. Buggs over to Markayla Johnson, now to Scott. Scott around a screen from Abraham, pick and roll. She gets the pass inside, glasses it up too hard, didn't have great position and couldn't quite finish. Now here come the Wildcats with an opportunity to take a first quarter lead with just over 2 minutes to go. Donovan backs inside on Scott, tries to kick it back out to the top of the arc and throws it away. Markayla Johnson chases it down and is fouled at the basket, trying to take it all the way in for a layup. Free throws are coming for the freshman.
That would have been an over and back, but wow, Markayla just was shot out of a cannon to run that basketball down.
So the foul on Garcia is her first. Baylor shooting the penalty. And actually that was a shooting foul anyway, but Markayla Johnson goes to the line where she is 0 for 2 today. First free throw is up, and that's no good.
I thought that one was going in. It
was on line, but too strong. And one more is coming. You're right, Lori. That was a problem for the Bears the other night. Free throw up. That one rattles out. Long rebound, bounces out to the perimeter, and it is chased down by Brundonks. She gives it off to Timerson, and once again, Davidson with a chance to claim a lead late here in the first quarter. It is Donovan handing it off to Timerson. They feed it in the post. Donovan gets it back, wants to back her way on Markayla Johnson, and posts her up and finishes. From the right block, and Davidson has the lead. Davidson pressuring in the backcourt. Baylor breaks it, and Buggs flips it back to Talia Scott. Minute and a half to play first quarter. Scott harassed out on the top of the arc, bangs inside, loses the basketball. A little too determined to take it to the rack there, and Dunn comes out of there with it. Feeds it to Timerson, cross court, high left side of the floor, and she directs traffic as the shot clock drains inside at 20. We're down to a minute 15 to play in the first quarter. The Wildcats with the ball and a 1-point edge. It's Timerson finding Donovan. Donovan, single digits on the shot clock. Backs her way inside the paint. She wants to get inside on Markayla Johnson. Flips it up there too hard this time, and Buggs claims the rebound. Now Jana Van Geitenbeek being harassed in the backcourt. She angles to the right side of the floor and crosses midcourt with a second to spare. Buggs feeds the left side to Markayla Johnson. Markayla bounces it down low, and a kicked ball on Davidson. It's going to keep the shot clock at 20 for the Bears. Kirsten Johnson checks in for the Bears, as does Yu Ting Dong back in. So glad to see that she is fine after being shaken up a moment ago. Kyla Abraham and Markayla Johnson will get a breather. Inbound comes to Dong. She hands it back off to Van Geitenbeek, who can't clear the three. Kicks it up top. Scott can't clear the three. That one's too strong, though. And the rebound bounces out to Donovan. Davidson 14, Baylor 13. 34 seconds to play here in the first quarter. About 13, making about 11 seconds between the clocks. Here is Bessel dribbling in the midcourt circle. Right-hand dribble. Puts her left shoulder to the basket, now switches hands, bounces ahead to Dunn, who gives it back to Bessel. 6 seconds to shoot. She's out beyond the arc, finds Donovan, who feeds Garcia down low. 2 seconds to shoot, extra pass, 1 too many, shot clock violation.
Good job on defense, just switching, getting over at the catch, and really forced another turn. Finally, I think the third turnover here in this quarter by Davidson, and that's a great defensive effort by the Bears.
Davidson 14, Baylor 13. Bears can play for the last shot. 10.5 seconds to go. Shot clock off here in the first quarter. Inbound to Van Geitenbeek. She jogs across midcourt. We're down to 5 seconds, down to 4. Van Geitenbeek to the left wing. Kicks it out to Buggs. Open three. Just off the back rim. No, as the first quarter draws to a close. Good look there for Buggs, but she didn't quite have her feet set, and it skipped off the back rim. End of one, our score, Davidson 14, Baylor 13. Hey, Bears fans, this basketball season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like, proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Bears down by 1, 14-13 as we head to the second quarter in Orlando on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Here in Orlando, where the Bears trail Davidson by 1 at the end of 1, 14-13. If you heard the tail end of the reaction for Lori Vogelman, that's because I showed her a highlight. Actually interesting to note, UNLV, who Baylor defeated last Friday night in a hard-fought game in Las Vegas, actually played Arizona State, who many people see as a potentially resurgent Big 12 team this year. They played the Sun Devils in Tempe, and Arizona State won on a late 3 with the shot clock winding down. They lost the ball, had to chase it down near the sideline, and basically just flung it from about 40 feet and banked it in to win the game.
You know, I do not think that Fantini, I think it was, who was that? They don't even have who scored.
They were probably just as surprised as everybody else were.
Washinitz is the one who scored, but I mean, she just grabbed the ball all along the sideline, and I don't even think she looked. She just flung it towards the rim, and my goodness, it hits off the backboard and falls through, and Arizona State defeats UNLV 56-53. That was a crazy shot.
That was a crazy shot.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, here Baylor trails Davidson 14-13 at the end of 1. Bears 5 of 9 from the floor. Davidson 5 of 18. Just an odd first quarter in that regard. Wildcats 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. Baylor 0 of 2. Free throws, Davidson 3 of 4, Baylor 3 of 8. So some of the offensive woes continue. I mean, Baylor's shooting 56%. It's a small sample size, but some of the missed free throws and the missed open looks plagued a little bit here.
Yeah.
As Baylor gets the ball to start the second quarter.
5 turnovers and 3 of 8 from the free throw line. I mean, you've got to be able to knock those down, or you just waste possessions.
Yuting Dong takes the feed in the post from her former Auburn teammate Scott and hits a turnaround jumper. She just hangs there, kind of levitates, hit the turnaround, and Baylor is back in front by 15-14. Yuting Dong averaging 4 points and 2 rebounds in limited playing time for the Bears. There's an attempt to answer by Davidson, but a hook shot from Leonafa is too strong. Kirsten Johnson grabs the rebound, and here come the Bears. Here's knifing Dariana Little-Page Buggs, missing the shot in traffic. Looked like she was hit, no whistle, but Kirsten Johnson there to clean up. KJ with 4 points for the Bears. And make that 5 points for the Bears, and it is a 17-14 Baylor lead.
Hopefully that is helpful for KJ as well, getting that offensive board.
Brundonks likes to shoot the 3. She gets an open look from the left side and missed it, but the rebound caroms to Dunn, who drives in a crowd and is fouled. Free throws are coming. It looked like Baylor's maybe a little flat-footed there as the carom hit off the back rim. Brundonks, they don't want to let her get open looks. Brundonks is a player who coming into the game today was hitting 63% of her threes.
Crazy.
She missed that one, but they're still going to get a look at points as Dunn goes to the free throw line and calmly hits the first free throw. Again, Charlize Dunn leads them with 15 points per game. She's hitting 85% of her free throws this season. She misses the second, however. Kirsten Johnson, though, fumbles the rebound, but...
Did they call Kirsten on the foul?
Okay, no, I thought they did for a second, but they did not.
Okay.
They did not. There we go. She missed the free throw. Johnson fumbled the rebound out of bounds, but that is because
that's why.
she was fouled. We'll see who that is on in just a moment. The foul a moment ago, by the way, for the Bears was on Dariana Little-Page Buggs, and that is her second. the team's first. Jana Van Geitenbeek racing into the front court. Late dish to Abraham, who finishes with the left hand.
It's the left hand for Kyla. She's so comfortable there. What a finish in rhythm.
Baylor up 19-15. Here's Leah Naffa for a three in transition, way off the mark, and Talia Scott boards it. She's angling into the front court, zings a pass down low, trying to hit Johnson on the bounce, but it had too much mustard on it. It's out of bounds. She just put a little oomph on that pass, and it hit the floor hard and bounced past KJ and past the baseline out of bounds. Baylor 19, Davidson 15, 90 seconds into the second quarter. Garcia with the handoff to Brundonks, gets inside, kicks it out to Dunn. Dunn, guarded by Dong, will shoot a three with a hand in her face and hit it. Maybe Dong there got a little too low because you've got one of their taller players there in Dunn at 6'2", and she bent down just low enough for Dunn to clear the three.
Yeah, just when that back off and you lost that leverage, she nailed the three.
Now Bessel with a touch foul as Jana Van Geitenbeek was hitting a short pass to Talia Scott. She had her hand out there and just grabbed her. And so that's a foul on Bessel. It's her second, and the second on Davidson here in this second quarter. Baylor will play it in from the sideline. Dong to trigger the inbound. She calls for Jana to come get it, and she does. Throws it a little high, but Jana leaps to snag it. Van Geitenbeek swings it right side of the floor to Scott. 2 minutes gone, second quarter. Kick out to Van Geitenbeek. She unloads a catch-and-shoot three. Oh, that was in and out. Rebound is grabbed by Dunn. That one just wouldn't stay down. Dunn determined to get to the basket. No, she dishes it off last minute to the baseline. Now good defense by the Bears as Donovan gets in close, cannot hit, and the rebound snagged in a crowd by Abraham. Thought that Davidson was about to get another one of their offensive rebounds, but Abraham was able to corral it. Feeds it ahead to Scott, who is called for carrying the basketball. She dribbled herself into a crowd there, and really in an attempt to figure out how to work her way out of the jam, carried the basketball, and that gives it back to Davidson. Bears clean to a 1-point lead. 2.5 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's Baylor's 7th turnover, and the Wildcats have 6 points off of those miscues from Baylor. Need a stop here.
And this is a Davidson team that doesn't turn the ball over very often. Here is a long pass cross court to Brundonks, corner to corner. Up top she goes to Dunn, whose three is too strong. And Dong outfights Donovan for the rebound, and Donovan too aggressive, and she is called for foul on the reach in.
You know, we've seen Dong make some really good, confident plays. We saw her score confidently, and that was a very confident rebound with a lot of people around her.
Davidson has three players in the backcourt defensively, and they sprint down floor once Baylor plays it in. Talia Scott with a tough behind-the-back dribble, and even tougher finish. I thought she was about to lose the ball behind her back, Lori, but instead she corralled it, floated to the basket, and finished in close for two. Baylor up by 3, 21-18, 6:50 to play first half. Donovan has her shot blocked by Yuting Dong, nearly loses it out of bounds. Now, Talia Scott trying to grab the basketball out of her hands is called for a foul. I think her crime there was leaping a couple of times and allowing Donovan to sort of angle under her to make it a foul when she came back down.
Yeah, they had her trapped. Dong and Scott had her trapped along the sideline right in front of the Baylor bench. But you're right, you leave your feet, you bring your hands down just a little bit.
Well, they're going to play it in from the sideline. Brundonks gives it off to Timerson, who's back in. Bounces down low, right block to Dunn. Tries to bang her way in there on Abraham. Leans in, good leverage and a tough finish. Boy, Abraham barely left her feet, but that was just enough for Dunn to hook under her and lay it in to pull Davidson within one.
They are really good with their feet.
Here is Van Geitenbeek swinging it middle of the floor, around the horn. KJ looking for Dong, perimeter right. Dong. Up top to Scott. Scott around an Abraham screen. She's going to feed it to her in a crowd. Too many people around there. You could see that coming, and it's tipped away and stolen by Davidson. Here is Donovan trying to get inside. Oh, and she's blocked from behind by KJ as she tried to drive around Dong. Picked up off the floor by Scott, and here come the Bears. 4 minutes gone, second quarter. Baylor with a 1-point lead. Talia Scott driving inside. Can't finish, but she's fouled. That's another foul on Davidson, and it will send Talia Scott to the line where she is 2 of 2 today. Kaylin Elms will check in. Kaylin Elms, a nice game for the Bears. She had 5 points in Baylor's loss to Iowa on Tuesday night, and she really looked like a solid rotation player in that game. Lori, that's what you need her to become. She's not that every game, but she did on Thursday.
Yeah, and she only played 6 minutes because she had 4 fouls, and some of those were kind of questionable. But she was stout in the paint. 3 rebounds, 2 of those were offensive boards. So she was effective in the time that she was in there and confident as well.
Scott buries the first free throw. One more coming. Dong back in for the Bears. That foul, by the way, on Kira Brungdongs. It was her second and the team's 4th. So Baylor will be shooting the penalty for the final 5:53 as Talia Scott hits both free throws. She leads the Bears with 8 points. Actually tied for Dariana Littlepage Buggs with 8 points. And it's a 3-point Baylor lead. See if they can get a stop here. They haven't been able to push the lead above 3 for a while. Here is Leah Fossa spinning inside and drawing a foul on KJ. Free throws are coming. You talked about their footwork, Lori. That foul on KJ is her second, the team's 3rd. They have a nice ability to be able to keep their dribble alive as they sort of use their foot as an anchor and swing from side to side till they see a little leverage that they can lean under and try to bank it up and in. First free throw is too strong by Leonafa. One more coming.
Yeah, usually that first move is not usually, but the first move is not the last move. I mean, just great movement on their pivot foot.
Second free throw is good, so she hits 1 of 2. The Baylor lead is 2, 23-21. Jenna Van Geitenbeek, left-hand dribble, angles to the left side of the floor. Spins it over to Scott up top to KJ. 5.5 to play first half. Dong to Talia Scott around to Kaylin Elms screen. Hesitates, drives inside, caught up in a crowd, lost the ball out of bounds. Baylor will play it in with 13 seconds on the shot clock as Davidson sends Sienna Dower in for the first time in place of Dunn, a rare break for her. Angie Ziaka back in as well, the native of Greece for Davidson. Baylor plays it into Talia Scott. Ziaka guarding her, hands it off to Van Geitenbeek, left side of the floor, retreats behind the arc, kicks it right side, catch and shoot 3 from Scott, in and out, offensive rebound. KJ spins inside, double teamed, bangs into a defender and loses the ball. Dina Strauss is back in for Davidson out there with Dower, Timerson, Leonafa, and Ziaka. They kick it in the corner, and once again up top, they'll go around the horn again to Strauss. Strauss dribbles beyond the arc, sends it out to Leonafa. Leonafa wants to drive in on Nelms. Nelms stays with her defensively, nearly walked with it, hits a cutting Strauss with the pass, and she tries to throw the layup up there, and it hits the side of the backboard. Baylor with the ball in a 23-21 lead. Pass up top to Nelms. Good look at a 3 up top. Too strong, though. Rebound battled for, and Timerson comes away with it. She just outran Yuting Dong. There's a pass down low, and Nelms nearly steals it. She succeeds in knocking it out of bounds, bringing us to our second quarter media timeout. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different, Bank Central, Central National Bank. Kirsten Johnson walking with a bit of a limp after that play. You hope she's okay. She's walking under her own power and without the help of a trainer in any way, so maybe she just needs to walk it off. But it has been physical, and she is going to get a break here visiting with trainer Chalisa Fonza. Bears up by 2, 23-21, 4:31 to play second quarter here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
There's nothing like a Baylor home game, and First Central Credit Union wants to send you.
Hi, this is Jo Betsy Tyler with First Central. We're giving away a pair of Baylor football tickets for every home game this season. It's our way of celebrating the fans and families who make Central Texas great.
Enter now at firstcentralcu.com/football. One winner drawn each week.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
No purchase necessary to enter.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Alongside Lori Fogelman and Derek Smith with you here from the State Farm WBCA Showcase in Kissimmee, Florida. ESPN Wide World of Sports at Walt Disney World. Van Goodall, our producer, back in Waco. Here, Baylor leads 23-21, but they've had a couple of scoring droughts, which honestly has been kind of par for the course here in Orlando, unfortunately. Still, Baylor leads 23-21, but right now, Lori, no points for the last 2:31. And part of the problem is too many turnovers. Baylor has taken 18 shots, hit 9 of them, 50%. That's the good. But they've turned it over 9 times and hit only 50% of their free throws.
You know, that's just points left on the table, obviously, when you're not able to capitalize on those. But, you know, you're not going to get a lot of points off of turnovers because Davidson takes such good care of the ball. Now, 9 turnovers, and we're only about 15 and a half minutes into this game. That's too many for Baylor. And so the Bears have just got to continue to stay focused. They still have a 2-point lead, and we'll see what happens. We're watching Kirsten Johnson across the way, who just kind of dinged her ankle some, and it's being Jaleesa Fons is with her right now across the way.
You know, Lori, this is a Davidson team. You might have heard Coach Nicky say in the pregame interview, they switch every screen. Most teams don't do that. And when you don't switch on a screen, that usually means that there's a player from time to time who has an open look at the basket or an open shot, because that means for a minute, if you might have a mismatch or you might be able to get off a screen with no one picking you up immediately. Well, they do switch every screen, which means you just don't get as many open looks and it's harder to drive. And we've seen a little of that so far. Davidson with the ball. They trail the Bears 23-21. Here's a cross-court pass to Dower in the left side. Dower gets too far beneath the basket, sends it back out to Timerson. And now Timerson gets the ball back. Oh, a late foul, a touch foul, and looks like a hand in there. And that was Kayla Nelms called for the foul, her first and the team's fourth.
Well, Donovan was wide open going to the basket, and I think Nelms did the only thing she could was just leave her feet and make that contact.
First free throw good by Donovan.
You know, we're hitting that part that point in the game where Baylor didn't score the last 3 minutes and 17 seconds of the first quarter. And, you know, it's been a while since they've hit a bucket from the field. That was about 3 minutes ago. So hopefully Baylor can get something done on the offensive end right now.
Score tied at 23, 4:05 to play here in the second quarter. Markayla Johnson back in. She takes the pass high on the left side of the floor. Looking down low for Nelms. Now she's calling for Talia Scott to come out and get the ball just before a 5-second violation. Oh, and then Talia walks with the basketball. Just got caught between steps, and that gives it back to Davidson with a chance to take the lead. Been 3 minutes and 6 seconds without a field goal for the Bears. Now they've also held Davidson the last 2:36 without a field goal, but there have been a couple of free throws in there for the Wildcats. Here's Timerson, left side to Donovan. They're going to lob it down low to Strauss. 6'3", she has a height advantage. Oh, and Kayla Nelms just swatted the ball away, and Strauss came very, very close to touching it. I don't think she did, but she almost touched that ball trying to save it out of bounds. But really just good awareness there by Nelms to see that she had an opportunity to swat that away. Timerson will play it in from the left corner. And I think we're going to have a stoppage in play and a review. Coach Nicky has asked for a review here.
Well, it was very close.
It was very close. Let's see. I'll be honest. As the play happened, I thought she didn't quite touch it. But let's see. Did she? Boy.
It didn't change the trajectory of the ball, but it looks like she may have put it.
Here's a better look.
Oh, well.
Right as we're about to get a better look on the video board, we got a State Farm WBCA Showcase logo.
Well, here, we can see it on the ESPN monitor here.
My gut reaction is, Lori, that I don't think you can tell enough to change it no matter what. I think she may have just missed it, unfortunately for the Bears and luckily for Davidson. Oh. Well, I beg your pardon, Lori. It's a successful challenge. Mm-hmm.
It just looked so close, but again, sometimes they look for that. You know, did the ball change direction, or did it slow down? And looked like good news for Baylor, not only getting the ball back, but Kirsten Johnson's back on the bench for Baylor.
That's good to see. Well, and that's why we're also glad that Coach Nicky is making these decisions and not me. Although you made a vie for it, you made a good vie for the opportunity. Nelms to play it in to Jana Van Geitenbeek as again Davidson harassing in the backcourt. Van Geitenbeek, Nelms, Scott, Markayla Johnson, and Kyla Abraham out there for the Bears. Van Geitenbeek crossing over on the right perimeter. Kicks it up top to Scott off the screen. Turns and faces the basket around a Nelms screen. Nelms flares to the basket. Now there's a pass in the post, and it was not grabbed by Abraham, and that's a steal for Davidson. They have the ball with the score tied at 23. Dunn tries to change that, and she banks in a three. Shot out way too strong, but off the window, and now nearly a steal by Davidson, pressuring after the inbounds pass, and luckily it's snagged off the deflection by Johnson. Baylor down by 3, 26-23, 3 minutes to play first half. And now it's a tie ball game as quickly the other way, Talia Scott drains a step back three.
Yeah, I think Talia is one of those who's just, I've turned the ball over and I'm going to come right down, put the basketball in my hands and let it fly.
First made three-pointer by the Bears. They're 1 of 6 from the floor, and it's 26 all. There's a pass down low to Donovan. Chance at a three-point play. She got Abraham off her feet and flipped the reverse layup in, and Yuting Dong's going to check back in, but not before that foul there on Kyla Abraham. That is Abraham's first and the 5th on the Bears, and Donovan has a chance at a three-point play. She and Dunn are their leading scorers in this game. Both have 11, and Donovan can reach a dozen here at the free throw line with 2:36 to play in the first half. Can't get the roll, left it short, and rebound fumbled out of bounds by the Bears. I think that was Dong there, and it was just tapped away over the shoulder, and then she fumbled it out of bounds. And so now Davidson will play it in. It'll be Timerson swinging it up top to Dunn. Dunn fires back in the post and trying to hit Strauss. She's fouled by Van Geitenbeek. Van Geitenbeek had a hand in there on the larger Strauss, and a foul is called, and that's going to send him to the free throw line.
You know, Baylor was scrambling because we had defensive players out of position, and Jana had to go flying in the middle to take on Strauss, who's much taller than Jana.
First free throw by Strauss is good. She's a 69% free throw shooter, and she's got one more coming.
These are more second chance points also.
You're right, and she hits them both, and just like that, Davidson has a 4-point lead at 30-26. 2.5 to play in the first half. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek around a Nelm screen to the right side of the floor. Swings it up top to Dong. Thought about a three, now spins inside. Dumps it off at the last second to a cutting Nelms for two. Good collaboration there between the two young players, Dong and Nelms. That cuts the Davidson lead in half. Now here's Donovan racing back the other way. She's going to try to post up Dong. Kicks it up top to Timerson. Head fakes a three. They're going to send it in the corner to Strauss. Strauss, right wing out there, guarded by Nelms. Wants to put it on the floor along the baseline. She's determined to get a shot up there, and she rolls it over the front of the rim and in. Not terrible defense there by Dunn, although she did allow Strauss a little bit of leverage. Back the other way come the Bears, down 32-28. It's Jana Van Geitenbeek finding Scott, lobbing it down low in the post to Nelms. She tries to feed Dong in the corner, and it is stolen away. Not enough on it there, and it's stolen out of there by Dunn. Dunn to the top of the key. Up top to Timerson. Timerson swings it right side to Donovan. Feeds it in the post down low to Dower. Mismatch there on the shorter Jana Van Geitenbeek, but she misses the turnaround. Rebound tip by Nelms, but controlled by Davidson. And we have a whistle and a 3-second violation that I think Coach Nicky was screaming for about a good 4 seconds.
Finally got that call, and boy, did Baylor need to be bailed out by that.
Well, so far, Davidson with 9 points off of Baylor turnovers and 7 second chance points. That's 16 of their 32, half of their points. Jana Van Geitenbeek swings it left side to Markayla Johnson. Fakes a pass, drives inside, hangs left of the lane and misses the pull-up runner. Kayla Nelms fumbles the rebound. She flips it up and in, though, in a crowd. Tough shot there by Kayla Nelms. She's got 4 points for the Bears, and it's 32-30 Davidson. Wildcats with the basketball, under a minute to go here in the first half. It's been an odd first half. Baylor has turned the ball over too many times. They've actually hit 55% of their shots, but have allowed too many second chance points to the Wildcats. We're down to 13 seconds to shoot for Davidson, under 40 seconds to play first half. Here is Strauss wide open on the left side. She decides to shoot a three. It is too strong. Weak side rebound. Knocked out of bounds to Davidson.
Well, you have to remember, too, here in this this first half, you've got Bella and Bugs over on the bench, both with 2 fouls. And Baylor's just trying to survive right now until halftime.
Here's a pass up top to Donovan. Puts it on the floor, gives it back to Dunn for 3. No good. Good rebound snag by Talia Scott. Now the Bears can play for the final shot of the first half. We're down to 20 seconds to go. Talia Scott driving inside, and she is fouled. It looked like she was not trying to go for the last shot. And fouled, though, by Davidson. And that will send her to the free throw line. And, Laura, your point is well taken about Bella Fauntleroy and Bugs. And that leads me to something I was thinking about mentioning at halftime, but we'll mention now during these free throws. Obviously, a lineup like you see like this with Markayla Johnson, Yu Ting Dong, and Kayla Elms isn't one you're going to see a lot as Kayla Elms exits and Abraham checks in. And you're not, and you hope you get more minutes from Bugs and Bella, but I think for this Baylor team to get where you want to go, a lineup like this is going to have to be a little better than it has been. And I think there's a lot of room for improvement when you've got a true freshman, when you've got a player who's only played a dozen collegiate games, and when you've got a sophomore who didn't play much last year. There's a lot of room for improvement as Talia Scott misses the first free throw. One more coming with 19.4 seconds left. But it is an area where the Bears need to get a little more out of a unit like this when they're on the floor. Second free throw is good, so Talia Scott hits 1 of 2, and now Davidson can play for the last shot of the first half, up 32-31. Garcia plays it in to Alvarez in for the first time. That is Elena Alvarez, a native of Spain. Down to 12 seconds to go. Talia Scott up near midcourt, guarding her aggressively. Around the screen, right side of the floor. Abraham up to pick her up. They're going to feed it down low to Donovan. Puts it on the floor with 3 seconds and lays it in. Markayla Johnson to play it in, and the Bears won't be able to get a shot off. Well, they were able to get some leverage down beneath the basket. Donovan did that again and laid it in. She has 13 first-half points. In an intermission, Davidson leads the Bears by a score of 34-31. And even though Baylor's hitting 55% of their shots, Lori, just haven't really looked in sync on offense. Still a little too reliant on Scott. And again, I think you're right. Darian Littlepage Bugs was big early, 8 points, 4 of 6 shooting. But then she and Bella Fauntleroy were hit with 2 fouls, and the Bears haven't quite been able to settle into a rhythm since then.
Yeah, and you lose their defensive presence. I mean, speaking of you lose players inside the paint. I was stunned when all of a sudden I saw that ball going inside, and Donovan is inside the inner circle, and all she had to do was just turn around with no one there to be able to contest that shot with 2 seconds left on the game clock before halftime. But Baylor's in a manageable 3-point game right now, but they need to regroup for the next 20, and we'll see where we go from there.
Our Nissan halftime report is coming up next. We'll take a look at stats in just a minute. Then Lori, a look at scores, and then we'll come back and get you ready for the second half. That's all on the way on the Nissan halftime report. We are in Orlando, where the Bears trail Davidson 34-31 at halftime here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
Hi, Jan from Toyota here to let you know that Toyotathon is on. And what better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like RAV4, Grand Highlander, and Corolla Cross. But to really get in the spirit, let's sing about it. So without further ado, driving through the snow in a new RAV4, hooray. To the slopes we go in a Highlander for a ski day. A Camry to get hot cocoa, tubing with a Tundra makes the kids go loco. Oh, what fun it is to make holiday holiday wishes come true. Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon is on. Oh, what fun it is to drive a new Toyota today. Hey!
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end December 1st. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyota-thon, which ends on January 5th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places. During Toyota-thon, qualified buyers can get 2.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new...
I was going to say the cheeseheads.
Offer available in select states only.
You're listening to
Yeah, I know. It just seems like a natural, but not.
It's time for the Nissan Halftime Show. Brought to you by Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor women's basketball. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Nissan, innovation that excites. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we break down the first half. Check in on scores and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Want to be the energy our Bears need? Go gold with Baylor Athletics this season and be the gold factor across each of our sports. Wear exclusive Go Gold apparel from the Baylor Bookstore and the Spirit Shop at upcoming Go Gold dates. Stay up to date on all your golden opportunities to create an electric home atmosphere by visiting BaylorBears.com/Go Gold. Sic 'em Bears.
Hellberg Barbecue is a family-owned business started here in Waco, Texas, and proud to serve the local area. They love to cater all kinds of events, big and small. Serving Baylor and its families is one of their favorite things, and they even ship barbecue nationwide. Check them out while here in Waco or online and support one of Waco's local barbecue restaurants, Hellberg Barbecue. Salt, pepper, and a whole lot of prayer.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. As we celebrate our 10th year anniversary, I want to say thank you to all of our customers. Our dealership is more than a business to me. That's why when you come see us for a reliable new Chevy or award-winning service, we treat you like family. Come see our new collision center, now open to serve you even better for many years to come. Enjoy the game, then come see us at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. Together, let's drive.
Proudly serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage and a trusted neighbor, bridging expert industry knowledge with integrity and kindness. Known for their award-winning agents, Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit magnoliarealty.com. Here's to home.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back in, everyone, to the Nissan Halftime Show from the State Farm Fieldhouse, Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando. We're actually on the campus of ESPN, Wide World of Sports. Baylor trails Davidson at the half of the WBCA Showcase, 34-31. As Derek was just saying, Baylor shooting 55% from the field, which sounds great, but the difficult parts of the first 20 minutes include foul trouble for Bugs and Bella, 12 turnovers and just 6 of 12 from the free throw line. We'll get back to the second half in about 5 minutes. Earlier today, Baylor football dropped a tough one, 41-17 to Arizona. They will play a regular season and home finale versus Houston next Saturday at McLean Stadium. So be there to celebrate our seniors and the final run of the Baylor line, freshmen, transfers, and seniors, again Saturday at McLean Stadium. Baylor soccer will play Ohio State in the Sweet 16 tomorrow, 1 p.m. first kick. I guess that's what it's called in South Bend, Indiana. Good luck to Michelle Leonard's Bears, playing in their 4th quarterfinal in program history. If they get the win, they'll move on to their 3rd Elite 8 in Baylor soccer history. So good luck. Baylor soccer playing Ohio State tomorrow at 1 p.m. in South Bend. Number 23, Baylor volleyball, will be back in action as they wrap up the regular season. Wednesday night in Fort Worth, they will play number 20, TCU. And looking across Big 12 women's basketball today, as we were talking about earlier, UNLV visiting Arizona State, and the Sun Devils get a crazy buzzer-beating 3 that was picked up in a scramble by Marley Washenetz, transfer from Pitt, and Marley just heaved the ball towards the basket and hit right off the backboard and through as Arizona State wins 56-53 over UNLV. Weber State at BYU, the Cougars win today, 79-62. Kansas State at Green Bay, and it's the Phoenix that gets the win over the Wildcats, 47-44. And later tonight in Hawaii, it's Colorado and UT Arlington in the North Shore Showcase. Again, our score here at the half, Baylor down by 3 to the Davidson Wildcats, 34-31. We'll be back in just a moment with more from the State Farm Fieldhouse here at Walt Disney World Resort. Baylor.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Len and Lai.
Hello. Did I fire off too early?
No.
What is Starry Lemon?
I wasn't sure. I thought I heard
that worked.
First of
okay.
Flavor.
It sounded like a cue, so I hit it.
Nope, it worked. It was fine.
Okay.
To Starry, then the other. Who is
no,
it?
My phone buzzed and it distracted me.
Starry,
yeah.
Lemon.
They have a way of doing that.
Yeah.
I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop hip.
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to NextLink Internet. With NextLink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, NextLink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give NextLink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears!
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics, presented by Green Eye Associates. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today.
You've been listening to the Nissan Halftime Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network. Brought to you by TFNB, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Nissan, innovation that excites. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we get set for the second half action with the Baylor Bears. As we rejoin Derek Smith live from the booth, bringing you the second half of action and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Both teams back out on the floor as we are just moments away from the start of the second half. Baylor looking for a second half improvement. It is needed after a first half that saw them head to the locker room trailing 34-31. Let's see if the Bears can cut down on turnovers here in the second half and really slow down what Davidson is trying to do in the paint. Bears will take the floor with their original starters, Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Fauntleroy, Buggs, and KJ. That's Kirsten Johnson. Davidson will as well. Garcia, Bessel, Donovan, Dunn, and Brungdonks. It'll be Davidson with the ball first to start the second half. It is Dunn playing it into Bessel, and here we go, underway in quarter number 3. Davidson up 34-31. It is Donovan, their leading scorer in the first half, trying to make something happen in the paint. Scoops it hard off the glass and in. She was falling away. Not bad defense by Dariana Little-Page Buggs, but she was able to kind of flip it off the glass and in. And now Jana Van Geitenbeek is fouled by Bessel as she accelerates into the front court. That's going to be Bessel's third foul and the first on the Bears. That 5-point lead for Davidson is their biggest of the evening. Bessel will, actually that'll be Brungdonks who will exit. Baylor's done a good job on her so far, and in her place returning is Angie Ziaka. Baylor with their first offensive possession of the second half. Bella Fauntleroy scoreless in the opening half. Sends it outside to KJ. Now to Talia Scott. Scott with the kick out. Good look at a three for Jana, and she splashes it home.
Boy, rhythm three from Jana Van Geitenbeek. And again, another assist, I think, from Talia Scott. That's her second assist. Jana, though, draining a three.
Here's Donovan finding a cutting Garcia who can't finish in a crowd. She took the pass at the top of the key and drove inside but missed. Here come the Bears. Nice dump off from Buggs to KJ for the layup. Buggs was making a beeline for the basket and at the last moment dumped it off to the trailing KJ to her right for the layup. Kirsten Johnson has 5 points. The game is tied at 36, but quickly Davidson answers as Dunn gets in close. Good position on the left block for the spinning layup.
Boy, they just get inside, and they're so good, again, crafty to be able to get the ball off the glass.
Now a driving attempt by Scott is no good. Rebound tip back to Scott. She unloads a three from the corner but can't hit. Oh, I thought that was going to go in.
I did too. I thought a second chance point on her own rebound off of her own miss.
Here's Davidson back the other way. Ziaka trying to post up. Jana Van Geitenbeek, who got a hand on the basketball and nearly stole it. She did steal it, essentially. It's out of bounds, last touched by Davidson, so it is a turnover for the Wildcats. Just their 5th on the evening, make that 6 on the evening for Davidson. And Baylor has the ball down by 2. Not quite 2 minutes gone. Davidson likes to pressure in the backcourt. Baylor is able to break it. As Buggs swings it to Van Geitenbeek, gets downhill, attacks the basket, tries to dump it off to KJ, but KJ wasn't quite close enough to make that connection work. It's a steal by Dunn, who kicks it out to Donovan. Contested three, deflected and grabbed by KJ. Was that Fauntleroy got a hand on there? Someone went flying out there and got a hand on the basketball for the Bears. They have the ball down by 2. Here is Talia Scott losing the basketball in a crowd. That's her 3rd turnover where she's tried to drive into a crowd of people. Now here is Bessel letting Fauntleroy fly by. She misses the layup, but has got to go to the free throw line as she draws a touch foul. A touch foul on Dariana Littlepage Buggs, and that's her 3rd. So just like that, Lori, a little over 2 minutes into the second half, Dariana Littlepage Buggs has picked up her 3rd foul.
You know, and Buggs may have I think she's got a case. I think that ball was just missed and out. What I'm saying is because I'm watching the ESPN monitor.
Oh, yeah, you got the monitor over there.
Broadcast next to us. And you had Bella who laid off, and Buggs was just right behind her. And I know that's a frustrating foul for Buggs.
Bessel misses the first free throw. She's got one more coming. For the moment, Buggs is staying out there. Bessel's free throw is short, and Kirsten Johnson had position for the rebound, and Adina Strauss went over the back. That is Strauss's second, the second on Davidson, and the Bears will come back the other way, down 38-36 with 7:41 to play here in this 3rd quarter.
Well, that is a big break to get Davidson to miss a couple of free throws because they've gotten there a lot.
Here's Van Geitenbeek, perimeter right, firing a fastball down low. Bella Fauntleroy with position, but she can't finish the contested layup. Rebound batted out to Davidson, and here comes Dunn with it, accelerating in the front court inside the free throw line. Flips it too hard for the cutting Bessel. Out of bounds, that's a turnover. Not a bad idea on that collaboration there, but Dunn with a rare miscue. She put some heat on that pass, and it was too hot to handle for Bessel. Yuting Dong will check in and give Dariana Littlepage Buggs a moment. Buggs with 8 first-half points tonight before picking up her 2nd foul, and then she picks up her 3rd here early in the 3rd quarter. Yuting Dong in here for the Bears. 2 points, a rebound, and an assist for the sophomore. Inbound comes to Jana Van Geitenbeek, and the Bears bring it across midcourt. 7:15 to play 3rd quarter, down 38-36. Van Geitenbeek directs traffic in the center, jump circle, around a Fauntleroy screen to the left side. She puts a pull-up jumper up there, misses, it's in and out, and the rebound is grabbed by Strauss. Boy, the shot's just not falling for the Bears. Here's Timerson, the point guard, bouncing it down low to Donovan. She turns and faces the basket here on the right baseline. Calls for Timerson to move to the left side of the floor. She doesn't have good position. Kicks it out to Strauss. Strauss angles to the free throw line. Looks to get inside on Kirsten Johnson, who blocks her shot and then picks it up off the floor.
Well, I think that's Kirsten's 5th block of this game.
And I believe that matches her career high. We'll verify that in just a moment. Talia Scott the other way, a whistle away from the ball and a foul going against Davidson. Baylor has possession, down 38-36 with 6.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The Bears in a 2.5-minute scoring drought. That foul is on Timerson. First time she's been called for one, the 3rd on Davidson. Inbound to Dong. She hands it off right side to Jana Van Geitenbeek. Feeds Fauntleroy up top. Perimeter right once again to Van Geitenbeek. She looks down low, swings it outside. Here's an open look at a 3 from the right wing, and it's knocked in by Scott. Talia Scott with her 2nd three-pointer. She has 2 of Baylor's 3 shots from downtown, and the Bears are back in front, 39-38. Donovan looking to answer quickly, but an offensive foul is called on Davidson as Strauss knocks down Talia Scott back to the basket. She knocked her to the floor, and that's going to give possession back to the Bears as Kaylin Elms prepares to return. And Garcia is back in for the Wildcats. On Strauss, that's her 2nd foul of the half, her 3rd overall. And just like that, the Bears will be shooting the penalty the rest of this third quarter with 6:06 to play, up 39-38. Bella to play it in to Jana Van Geitenbeek. Talia Scott comes back to claim the basketball, and she puts it on the floor across midcourt. Accelerates to the right side of the perimeter, dancing on the arc, bounces down low to Nelms. Nelms gets in close, can't quite finish. Rebound tipped around and grabbed by Garcia. Didn't quite have the angle that she wanted there, and she couldn't finish. Baylor by one. Davidson with the ball. Here's a pass to Donovan. Feeds Garcia left of the post. Kicks it up top to Timerson. She's not really a shooter. Drives inside. Loses the ball out of bounds. Baylor got a hand in there, Bella Fauntleroy.
She did. She just stuck her hand in there again with 2 fouls. That's a dangerous play to make, but she disrupted the pass, and it goes off of Davidson out of bounds, and Baylor with another chance.
Baylor with the ball up by one. Pass in the corner to Dong. Dong spins into the lane, gets in close. Hard, strong finish there. Glasses it in.
And great screen. Just get in the way. Kayla Nelm said, nope, not going to have it. I'm going to open up the lane for you, and good finish from Dong.
Ziaka kicks it out to Timerson. She's going to unload a 3, too strong. Bella with the rebound, and here come the Bears up 41-38. A field goal here would give Baylor its biggest lead of the night. Kayla Nelms with a hard screen. Now here's a driving attempt by Talia Scott, and she is called for the offensive foul. Maybe a little too wild. She got off her feet there. That's her second personal and the team's second, and it brings us to our third quarter media timeout. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank. Proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Bears in front, 41-38, halfway through the third quarter here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Proudly serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage and a trusted neighbor, bridging expert industry knowledge with integrity and kindness. Known for their award-winning agents, Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit magnoliarealty.com. Here's to home.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
We want to say hello to all of you watching on the Courtside Cam. Brought to you by Nextlink. Nextlink, reliable high-speed internet for your home or business. We are here at State Farm Fieldhouse at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in Walt Disney World alongside Lori Fogelman. I'm Derek Smith, Van Goodall, back at our studios in Waco. After this crazy road stretch, the Bears will return home and be home most of the month of December. So you want to finish strong here on the road. And Lori, a little burst here after Davidson had opened up a 5-point lead at 36-31. The Bears have now outscored them 10-2 and held them without a point for 3 minutes and 52 seconds. They're not just pouring it on the offensive end, but they are efficient. They're getting it done at both ends right now.
You know, and another good thing about that scoring drought is that they have turned, that Davidson has turned the ball over 4 times, and they just take great care of the basketball, and that was a big concern for the Baylor coaching staff because they just don't turn the basketball over. So for Baylor to finally be able to get another basket off of a turnover is that's a pretty huge thing. If Davidson is handing you the basketball, you've got to go down and you've got to be able to finish with points. But Baylor now with a 3-point lead after Talia Scott hit that 3 off the pass for Jana Van Geitenbeek, and then Dong taking a shot, putting the ball on the floor, going to the rim with Kayla Nelms, giving her a lot of space to be able to operate in the middle.
Talia Scott tied for the game's leading scorer. She's got 15, as does Katie Donovan. for Davidson. By the way, Laura, I got to say hello to a friend from Davidson who has a daughter at Baylor. Lori, he is the women's basketball radio announcer. He's the PA announcer for football, which is why he's not here today. He's also their baseball announcer. And his name is Derek Smith, and he spells it the exact same way. Here's a three from the corner by Brundonks out of the timeout by Davidson. It's no good, but they chase down the offensive rebound near midcourt. Yes, I guess we're each other's doppelganger, if you will, from Baylor and Davidson. Here's Garcia feeding in the post to Donovan. Oh, a late whistle. And I do think Dong got a hand in there. She was trying to knock that pass away and came down on the shoulder or the arm, and that is a foul on Dong. It is her first personal, and on the Bears, their third. Make that the second foul on Dong. And Davidson will play it in from the baseline up top to Dunn. Dunn wanted a three, but Bella closed out quickly. They swing it right side to Garcia, puts it on the floor, wants to spin inside on Nelms, kicks it in the corner. Good look at a three by Donovan, no good. Rebound hits the floor and grabbed by Talia Scott.
Talia Scott, what a block out for Talia to be able to get that rebound on the missed three.
Boy, nearly double dribbled and manages to keep the possession and then float it out to Nelms, who gives it back to her. This possession off to an awkward start for the Bears with 4 minutes to play third quarter. Here's Talia Scott around a screen from Nelms, looks inside, tries to bounce it to her, and that's a kicked ball, luckily for the Bears. Lord, my observation is Talia Scott does a lot of things really, really good, but sometimes on the pick and roll she seems a little too determined to feed it back to the post player who set the pick and in a crowd.
And what did Coach Nicky say? Don't bounce pass in there.
Yeah.
But because of the kicked ball, Baylor gets 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Jana having some trouble getting in, finds Dong. Oh, she was open for a second. Instead drives inside, floats it short, tries to fight for her own rebound, but it is Brundonks who comes out of there with it. Baylor misses an opportunity to push the lead to 2 scores. Now here's Dunn, right side of the floor. Lobs at mid-post, right side to Garcia. Wants to back inside on Nelms. Garcia in the post, kicks it in the corner. Up top, extra pass. Brundonks a good three-point shooter, but she's short here. Bella high points the rebound in a crowd. Fauntleroy gives it off to Van Geitenbeek. 3.5 minutes to play third quarter. Baylor with the ball and a 3-point lead. Oh, a tough pass from Jana Van Geitenbeek to Nelms, who can't hit the layup, but she's fouled, and she'll go to the free throw. And I tell you what, Lori, there was not a lot of room for Van Geitenbeek to thread the needle on the bounce pass, but somehow she did.
Yeah, that's what I was going. What did we just say? But somehow Nelms just had no one underneath the basket. Everybody had come out. She had a clear shot, but was fouled and will go to the free throw line.
Nelms' first free throw is good. She's got one more coming. Nelms 1 for 2 from the line in her career before that one, and now 2 for 3. That foul on Brundonks is her 4th of the evening. Second free throw, also good.
Oh, these are such huge minutes for Nelms in this game. Of course, she's back home in her home state of Florida. She's from Miami. A lot of family here who live in the Orlando area here cheering on Kayla, and glad to see the way that she's playing right now.
Here's Alvarez back the other way for Davidson. They're down by 5 for the first time tonight. Alvarez backing her way inside. Oh, and a foul called against the Bears as Baylor kind of tried to pull the table on her a little bit, and instead is called for the foul. Jana Van Geitenbeek hit with one. That's her second, and that's the 4th on the Bears. Baylor on a 7-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds. The defense has picked up this 5-point lead, Baylor's largest of the night. Alvarez to play it in from the baseline with the goalpost just to her left. Feeds it to Donovan at the top of the arc, hands it off to Dunn. She wanted a 3, couldn't clear it. Now she tries to post up Dong, gets in close. Good defense by Dong, and a better rebound there by Kayla Nelms.
Now scoring drought for Davidson now reaches almost 6 minutes.
Talia Scott hard to the basket, has the ball knocked away, and no whistle. It's out of bounds to Davidson.
At that time you had Nelms, just to encourage Talia Scott.
Nelms has had herself a nice game, 6 points, 3 rebounds off the bench for the Bears. And again, just a couple of games, but you like seeing her look like a solid rotation player. Jana Van Geitenbeek to play it in. She is looking, finds Fauntleroy top of the arc. Good look at a 3, back rim, no. Rebound lost by Davidson, out of bounds. Well, Baylor's lost a couple like that. We'll take a gift in return, and that's what that was with 2:41 to play in the third. 43-38 Bears. Van Geitenbeek to play it in beneath the basket from the baseline. She's going to float it into Talia Scott just inside the right side of the arc, who hands it back to a cutting Jana. She moves to the center of the floor, calls for Scott. Catch and shoot three from the left side. Too strong. Weak side board. High pointed by Dunn. Baylor by 5. 2:28 to play in the third. Here's Garcia in the front court for Davidson. Oh, sees an open player in the corner. It's Ziyaka. Unloads a three way off the mark. And loose ball foul goes against Davidson on the rebound.
Yeah, Baylor crashing the boards, and I think that foul was not on, like Jana was called for the foul, but Jana was the one who was underneath the basket and ended up getting the foul call.
And that's going to send us back the other way for free throws following this timeout by Davidson. The Bears on a 7-0 run. That foul, by the way, on Katie Donovan. It's her second. And the free throws are coming after the timeout, again called by the Wildcats. Baylor fans, Pepsi is a proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics. Make this basketball season a Pepsi one by making Pepsi your go-to game day drink, because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Baylor 43, Davidson 38. 2:19 to play third quarter on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program. Introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230 CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
7-0 run for the Bears has given them a 5-point lead, the biggest of the evening against Davidson. 43-38 is the score, with free throws coming after Katie Donovan was called for a loose ball foul on a rebound after Davidson missed shot. Baylor has struggled from the line tonight, 8 of 14, so see if they can pick that up a little bit here in the second half. Lori, it's been a weird game in all honesty. Davidson has taken 11 more shots than the Bears, but actually hit 3 fewer. Still, it's been tough for Baylor to pull away because, Baylor just 8 of 14 from the line, just 3 of 11 from downtown. So despite having being 17 points better shooting the basketball and being much more efficient, it's still been a tight ball game throughout here.
Well, I'm glad to see Baylor now ahead in the rebounding category, and I think that's because you've got a lot of one-and-dones right now for Davidson. Davidson has, they're just one of their last 10. 4 turnovers in the last 6.5 minutes, and that's where their scoring drought is. But again, it's just been just a little sloggy, if you will, and Baylor will go to the free throw line here after the foul from Davidson before the break. And I think it's Jana at the line.
And a team like Davidson, this is what they did against Miami the other night. It was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, and they fight hard, they hustle, and they know what their strengths are, and they attempt to leverage them. But Baylor on a 7-0 run as Jana Van Guytenbeek goes to the free throw line, where she is 3 of 4 on this season, and now 3 of 5. That one just wouldn't stay down. Rattled inside and over about every part of the rim before kicking back out. She's got one more coming. It's up, and that one is good. 4 points for Jana Van Guytenbeek to go along with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. It's a 6-point lead for the Bears, biggest of the evening. Dunn kicks it in the corner to Donovan. Dunn out there guarding her for the Bears. They're going to swing it around the horn. Ziyaka finds Dunn in the corner. Her 3 is no good, and on the fight for the rebound, Baylor called for a loose ball foul. That's unfortunate. It kicked all the way out to the top of the arc, and I saw someone maybe kind of stumble into someone and knock them down, and if they weren't pushed, I guess that would be the foul there, and it's called on Kaylin Nelms, her second, and the fifth on the Bears. Well, she is not the player I thought it might have been.
I didn't think so either.
But free throws are coming for Inez Garcia. Just 4 of 12 from the stripe on the year, but she drains the first one like it's nothing. That cuts the Baylor lead to 5, 44-39.
Yeah, it cuts into a nearly 7-minute drought.
Second free throw also good. Well, she struggled from the free throw line on the year, but she hit both of those. The Baylor lead is 4 with under 2 minutes to play in the third. Here is Jana Van Geijenbeek directing traffic, angling to the left side of the floor. She kicks it in the corner to Dong. Dong, step back, unloads a three. Oh. Beautiful! That was a pretty shot by Yuting Dong, knocking home the three. I say that was a switch. That floated in there like a cloud. And the Baylor lead is 7. Dong with 7 points off the bench for the Bears tonight. There's a fastball down low. Dunn was lucky. Bears are lucky she didn't get a three-point play there. Bella came swooping in at the last minute and kind of kneed her as she was putting the layup up there. Luckily for the Bears, she missed the shot, but that's 3 fouls now on Bella Fauntleroy. And it sends Charlize Dunn to the line. Charlize Dunn averaging 16 points a game this year. She's got 13 on 5 of 11 shooting. Tonight, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. They've struggled from the line as well tonight, 11 of 17, but she drains the first. 14 points for Dunn. And now 15. That ball kicked out, but then fell back in. Bugs feeds it in to Jana Van Geijenbeek. Bugs had 8 first-quarter points, but it's been quiet since as she's dealt with foul trouble. Bugs swings it over to Talia Scott. Scott to the center of the floor, over to Yuting Dong. Dong hit a 3 a moment ago, retreats beyond the three-point arc. She's really holding on to the basketball, fires it last minute to Nelms. That was not a good pass, and got off her feet, had to do something with it. It's knocked away and stolen by Davidson with a minute to go in the third quarter. It's Dower to Donovan. Donovan on a handoff to Dunn. She's got an open look at a 3 from the left side. No. Rebound tipped around, and a foul goes against Davidson the other way, and I think that's going to send Dariana Littlepage Bugs to the free throw line. She's all right, but she comes up a little worse for the wear, holding her forehead as she went flying in for the rebound. I think someone caught her with an elbow.
Yeah, she got smacked pretty good.
That foul is on Inez Garcia. That's her second. And Baylor already in the bonus. And Bugs will go back to the free throw line. Bugs, 9 of 13 on the season. She's got 8 points tonight, 4 rebounds, and an assist. And again, she took an unwanted elbow there, but she is all right. Markayla Johnson will return for the Bears. Scoreless this evening, 0 of 1 from the floor. Talia Scott will get a breather. Not a bad time to get her out here. 53 seconds to play in the third. You can kind of add to that downtime. First free throw for Bugs, too strong. Baylor just 9 of 17 from the free throw line tonight. That was a problem on Thursday against the Hawkeyes and has been a problem again tonight. For this was a Baylor team that was shooting 76% from the line coming into the weekend, and Bugs misses them both. It remains 47-42 Bears with 48 seconds to play here in quarter number 3. Alvarez fires ahead to Dunn, who hooks it over to Garcia. Perimeter right to Dower. Up top to get it from her now is Alvarez. Nelms picks her up on a switch. Now Markayla back on her defensively. Under 10 to shoot. Passing the post. Knocked away by Nelms. Chased down by Dong. Good defense there by the Bears, and they get the steal. Baylor can essentially play for the last shot of the third quarter. That clock may actually be able to. It actually looks like the shot clock has more time on it by a few tenths of a second than the game clock. Bears up by 5, 47-42. Here is Van Geijenbeek handing it off to Bugs. They're going to swing it around the perimeter. Jana Van Geijenbeek, 7 seconds to play in the third. Jana tries a step back 3. Back rim, no. Tipped around. Bugs fights for the rebound in a crowd, and that's the way the third quarter draws to a close. Well, Jana couldn't quite hit the step back 3, and then in the fight for the rebound, thought there might be a foul called on someone there at the end of the third before the buzzer, but there was not, and That's how the third quarter ends. Baylor 47, Davidson 42. Again, want to say thanks to all of you watching on our NextLink Courtside Cam, brought to you by NextLink, reliable high-speed internet for your home or business. The fourth quarter is straight ahead. Bears lead by 5 heading into it here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
See for yourself why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green, along with her dedicated optometrists and staff. Receive trustworthy insights about your eye health, enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes, face, and neck areas with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Visit greeneyeassociates.com. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
Hey Baylor fans, game day experiences for the 2025 football season are on sale now. Fans can purchase exclusive experiences online, including on-field photos, sideline access during warm-ups, tunnel access during the team runout, an in-game radio booth experience with the voice of the Bears, a birthday bash, and much more. There is limited availability per game, so purchase your experience today at BaylorBears.com/group experiences to lock in your one-of-a-kind game day experience today.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
To the fourth quarter we go here in the WBCA State Farm Showcase. Baylor 47, Davidson 42. That's where we stand with 10 minutes to go. This is a Davidson team that pushed Miami in a tough game. Miami eventually pulled away, but it was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. See if Baylor can keep this from being a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, up 47-42. Lori, that third quarter was better for the Bears. They outscored Davidson 16-8. They still haven't really got the offense cracking, but it was better. In fact, there in the third quarter, Baylor shot 3 of 7 from beyond the arc and held Davidson to just 2 of 13 shooting.
Yeah, those first two field goals in that third quarter, Donovan hit the first one to give Davidson 36 points and a 5-point lead over Baylor. But then Jana hit a 3 and KJ got a nice feed and finish. Baylor tied the game at that point and then just started chipping away at that lead. But actually, right now, Davidson has not hit a field goal in nearly 9 minutes. The scoring that they did the rest of the way, they were 4 of 6 from the free throw line, but they haven't been able to manufacture a shot since the 8:49 mark.
You know, you look at Baylor's numbers, Lori, shooting 46% from the field, not bad. Shooting 31% from downtown, not great, but not terrible. Still too many turnovers, 16 compared to Davidson's 10. You wouldn't say the offense is in a rhythm, but I think you would say it looked a little more like it in the third quarter. And the defense, which was strong in the first half, was great in the third quarter. Bears will take the floor in the fourth on offense with Buggs, Scott, Dong, Nelms, and Markayla Johnson on the floor. And Buggs plays it in to Scott, out there guarded by Dower, playing defensively with Dunn, Strauss, Alvarez, and Donovan. Markayla Johnson takes the feed, right elbow, now gives it back to Buggs. She bounces it in the post. That's what they were coached not to do, and it's knocked away and stolen. Here comes Alvarez. Crossover dribble, hands it off to Donovan. Strauss now takes the feed and hands it to Dower. Dower dribbles to the free throw line. Oh, gets inside, misses the left-hand layup, though. Strauss with the offensive rebound. She wants to put up a turnaround and hits. Nice little hook shot by Strauss. A nice touch there, and it cuts the Baylor lead to 3 at 47-44.
Yeah, more points off of turnovers. Baylor just, some of those are just killers.
Step back 3. Scott is short. Fight for the rebound, grabbed by Dunn, and here come the Wildcats. A chance to pull to within 1 with a 2 or tie with a 3, but Dower is stripped by Dong. Dong sees a lane to the basket. She's going to dump it off to Markayla Johnson, who circles outside and waits for numbers. Neither player had a great look at the basket, so you hate to lose a fast break opportunity against this team, but you want to get a good play on. Now Talia Scott drives inside, barely saves the possession, kicks it out to Buggs for 3, no good. Strauss with the board. Minute 15 to play in the third quarter. Baylor 47, Davidson 44. Dunn slips inside of Markayla Johnson and lays it in. Good job by Markayla, though, to at least keep her hands up straight in the air and not foul. Still, just like that, Nearly a steal by Davidson. Just like that, they've shaved 4 points off that Baylor lead. Markayla Johnson head fakes a three, spins in the lane. Wild shot, no good. Offensive rebound by Nelms, puts it back up short, and it's tipped out to Alvarez. Here come the Wildcats. Alvarez angles to the right side of the floor. They have the ball, down 1 to the Bears. Strauss, right block, wants to back inside on Buggs. She's going to shoot this, leverage inside, lays it in. And a timeout is called by Bears head coach Nikki Collin. Baylor kept Davidson without a field goal for nearly 9 minutes, and just like that, they've hit 3 of them here in the fourth quarter to reclaim the lead at 48-47 with 8 minutes to play. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank's different. Bank Central, Central National Bank. Bears trail by 1, 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter to Davidson on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hi, Jan from Toyota here to let you know that Toyotathon is on.
Man.
And what better way to get in the spirit of the season
fourth
than
quarter
with a
break
new
helped
Toyota,
Davidson
like
somehow.
RAV4, Grand Highlander, and Corolla Cross. But to really get in the spirit, let's sing about it. So without further ado,
well, we have 2 turnovers.
Driving through the snow in a new RAV4, hooray! To the slopes we go in a Highlander for a ski day. A Camry to get hot cocoa, tubing with a Tundra makes the kids go loco. Oh, what fun it is to make holiday wishes come true. Toyotathon, Toyotathon, Toyotathon is on. Oh, what fun it is to drive a new Toyota
they
today.
Just packed the paint so much. You pull down that offensive rebound. She had 3 players. She has 3 players around her.
She doesn't have a tough feel for what to do when she's out there yet.
During Toyotathon, qualified buyers can get 2.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new 2026 Tundra.
But it's hard not to want to just go back up with
only.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor trails by 1, 48-47 with 8 minutes to play as Davidson has opened up the fourth quarter to a very hot start. They've hit all 3 of their field goals and have scored all 6 of the fourth quarter's points. You know, Kayla Nelms, Lori, I think, we've seen her development in the fact that she's done a nice job off the bench tonight for the Bears. 6 points and 4 rebounds, but I think she's still learning. She doesn't quite have the touch there under the basket yet when she gets the rebound in a crowd, what to do. I think that'll come. You hope that'll come, but it's been a nice game still, though. She kind of went back up with 3 players on her.
Yeah, there was no room for her to be able to operate in the paint, and sometimes when it's hard to operate in the paint, either going back up with it or just trying to find the outlet is hard. But that's what Davidson does. They pack the paint on the inside. But Baylor will come back, and we've got KJ back out, and Bella's back in the game as well.
Well, Kirsten Johnson out there for the Bears. Haven't seen a ton of her tonight, but she's been effective when out there. 5 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots.
Yeah, it's pretty. She has just really been great at just battling on the inside. She has 14 blocks in 6 games, and with those 5 today, that ties her career high, which she had against UNLV just a hop, skip, and a jump ago from this crazy road swing that Baylor's been on.
Here is Dariana Littlepage-Buggs playing it in for the Bears. Davidson pressuring in the backcourt. She gets it into Van Geitenbeek. Under 8 minutes to go. Bears down by a point to the Wildcats. Van Geitenbeek to the right side of the floor. Swings it up top to Scott. Jumper from the left elbow is way off the mark. Fight for the rebound. In there, Fauntleroy gets a hand on it, and a jump ball is called. It's going to go back Davidson's way. She smothered it, but really had nowhere she could go with it as Davidson forced the tie-up. And it is Davidson basketball. They're up by 1, 7:43 to play. Boy, the shot's just still not falling. Not bad looks for the Bears, but they're not falling. Donovan cuts to the basket. She tries to lean in and misses the shot over Buggs, and the ball knocked out of bounds. And it's going to stay with Davidson.
Buggs had really good position underneath, and it is so hard the way that Donovan moves with her feet inside, and actually Baylor has the ball.
It is Baylor ball. That's good. Davidson has scored all 6 of the fourth quarter's points so far, and Baylor trying to change that. Now a whistle away from the ball. And a foul's going to go against the Wildcats. That'll be their first of the fourth quarter.
See if Baylor can work out a good play with that out of bounds underneath their own basket.
Just the second foul on Charlize Dunn, who leads all scorers with 17 points. Van Geitenbeek to play it in from the baseline, floats it to Bella, who scoops it out to Jenna. However, Alvarez closes out, denying her a three-point look. It's Scott at the top of the arc, floating it to Bugs, hands it back to Talia Scott, angles right side of the floor, out to Kirsten Johnson. 10 on the shot clock. It's Talia Scott. Cena Lane to the basket, loses it out of bounds, and it will stay with the Bears with 6 seconds on the shot clock. That was close. Luckily for the Bears, someone from Davidson kind of got a toe on it after it was really kicked towards the baseline by Talia. Baylor will have 6 seconds to clear a shot after Van Geitenbeek plays it in from the baseline. Looking, finds Bugs, dribbles into the paint, fall away, jumper, good!
Did Baylor need that, or did Baylor need that?
I think Baylor did. I think that's nice for Bugs to see that first jumper of the second half fall. It's a 49-48 Baylor lead, under 7 minutes to play. Here is Dunn answering quickly, swooping across the lane and finishing with the right hand. 50-49, Davidson with the lead, Baylor with the basketball. It is Scott left of the arc. She dribbles to the top of the key and sends it further out to KJ. Now Van Geitenbeek around the screen, drives inside, gets to the basket and finishes with the right hand.
That has been so hard for Jana this year to be able to get and finish at the rim. That time she had a little bit of explosive move to be able to get there.
We've seen some lead changes, and now the pass is knocked away and stolen by Talia Scott, who's then fouled as she dribbles across the midcourt stripe. She is tripped by Alvarez. That's the first on Alvarez, and the second on Davidson here in the fourth quarter. Well, we've seen some lead changes back and forth. Davidson authored that 6-0 run to start the fourth quarter to take the lead. Baylor fought back, and now in a game that has seen 3 ties and 8 lead changes, it's Baylor with the basketball up 51-50.
Well, Baylor got a steal from Jana Van Geitenbeek just a moment ago, and then the foul call on Alvarez that sent Talia Scott sprawling.
And Bella plays it into Talia Scott. Just over 6 minutes remaining in this one. A tight ball game here in Orlando. Here's Talia Scott driving left of the lane. Bodied by Strauss and fouled.
Ooh,
that's twice on this possession, that Talia Scott has drawn the foul from the Wildcat defender. And on Strauss, that's her 4th. And that's 3 on the Wildcats. Strauss will exit, and Garcia will check back in. Garcia making her first start for Davidson tonight. She's 0 of 6 from the floor with 2 points. She's been their best distributor so far this season, leading them with just under 4 assists per game, but tonight just 1 assist. Van Geitenbeek plays it in to Fauntleroy, left of the lane, tries to back inside, spins and lays it in, overdone.
Oh, I think that was just pure determination from Bella Fauntleroy. I think that's her first bucket of the game.
3-point Baylor lead, 5:50 to play. Bessel back in. She's been in foul trouble much of the night. Hands it off to Dower. Hesitates, kicks it outside. Garcia for 3, skips off the rim. And Bella Fauntleroy gobbles up the rebound. That was indeed her first field goal. She's got 2 points and 3 boards for the Bears. Van Geitenbeek up top to Bugs. Fires it fastball style in the post. Johnson can't finish in close, but a foul called against Davidson. That's going to go against Sienna Dower, her first. And that's 4 on the Wildcats, which means the Bears will be shooting the penalty for the final 5:29 of this one. Free throws haven't been Baylor's friend this weekend. They're just 9 of 18 tonight, but still you'll take the opportunity. KJ, by the way, has reached double-digit rebounds with 10 on the night. Now she's going to the free throw line after that foul.
Boy, that's 10 rebounds in just 17 minutes for KJ.
Nice defensive night for the senior, and she calmly hits the first free throw. She's matched her career high with 5 blocked shots as well. Baylor with 18 blocked shots on the weekend, and she's been involved in many of them. Baylor by 4, and now by 5 as KJ hits them both.
Boy, timely free throws. But, KJ was really challenged, especially just on the defensive end, but it's great to see her contribute offensively as well.
Bessel with the basketball, gives it to Garcia. Now Donovan, who's been quiet here in the second half. Donovan, harassed by Bugs, loses the basketball. Oh, she found it, cutting Garcia for the layup. I thought she lost her. Maybe
I thought she lost it too. There was Garcia cutting to the basket.
Maybe she just flipped it overhead with her back to the basket there. A nice find. It's 55-52. Baylor with the ball. 3-point edge. Van Geitenbeek driving to the free throw line. Cut off there by Donovan. Gives it to Scott, moving left to right. Scott, step back three from dead on is off the back rim. No, nearly got it to fall on the bounce, but it's Bessel coming away with the miss, picking the loose ball up off the floor. They could pull it within 1 with a 2 or tie with a 3. We're down to 4:40 to play here in Orlando. Bessel to Dunn. Back to Bessel, high left side. In the corner to Garcia, who hit a layup a moment ago. Garcia in the paint, spins inside, and beats KJ there for 2.
Boy, they just come up and under constantly.
4:20 to play. Baylor with the ball, clinging to a 1-point lead here. 4:17 to play. Here is Talia Scott around to KJ's screen. Down the right side of the lane, she'll circle back out and hit Bugs. Bugs dribbles inside and is called for an offensive foul. She pleads her case, but she was leaning in. Donovan made herself low there, made herself small, and I think Bugs got a hand in there and just a little bit of a push, but that was enough.
Yeah, and if you just hesitate a little bit like that, sometimes you get that foul call, and Baylor clinging to a 1-point lead after consecutive baskets from Davidson's Garcia.
Well, and that's problematic because that's 4 on Bugs with 4:04 to play. Donovan's going to attack her right away. Bugs stays with her defensively, hands in the air. She slings it outside to Bessel. Bessel to Dunn. Bessel falls down. Dunn tries a 3 and misses badly. That's an air ball left to the window, and the rebound to the Bears. Up by 1, 55-54, and a foul on Bessel as Talia Scott initiates the offense, and on Bessel, that's her 3rd. Bessel with the foul. That will be on Davidson, number 5. So Baylor shooting the penalty here with 3:44 to play. Free throws all important. Baylor struggled with them on Thursday night against Iowa, and they've struggled here tonight, 11 of 20. 5 of 8 here in the second half. Don't do the math on what the free throws were in the first half. It was not pretty. 3:44 to play. And now the officials are conferring. And she's going to have a word with Gail Fulks, the Davidson head coach. Now go over and talk to the official scorekeeper. What do we have here?
I have no idea.
Here's Talia Scott's first free throw. It is good. She's got one more coming.
Whatever it is, people clapping behind us, it was good.
Yeah.
They clapped when Talia hit the free throw.
One more coming for Talia Scott. She drains them both. Baylor by 3, 57-54. 17 points now for Talia Scott, one of 2 Bears in double figures. Dunn. They're going to feed it around the horn. Brundach's the great 3-point shooter, is checked back in for the Wildcats. She feeds to Bessel, who's called for an offensive foul. Baylor came up with a double team on a hard screen there, and Bessel was hit with the offensive foul, and that's going to go back Baylor's way. With 3:30 to play, for the Bears an opportunity to reopen a 2-possession lead following the Davidson timeout, and we will keep it right here.
Boy,
that foul's on Garcia, by the way, I beg your pardon, her 3rd.
She was the one setting the screen, but you know what? Just disrupted that entire play was, again, KJ jumping out on defense along the perimeter, and I think that just, it startled me. Every time I see it, it startles me, but it certainly did have an effect on that play against Davidson. So Baylor will get the basketball back, leading by 3, 57-54, with 3.5 minutes left to go here at State Farm Fieldhouse at Walt Disney World.
You know, Lori,
Baylor
Baylor
can use some magic right now.
They get that, indeed. It is the most magical place on earth, as some say. So the Bears would take that. particularly on the offensive end. Defense hasn't been the problem. They've held Davidson to 33% shooting, held Iowa on Thursday to their lowest shooting percentage of the season, but it's been that offense. It's been the offense that's been a struggle for the Bears. Here's Bella Fauntleroy with it on the left wing for Baylor, out of the timeout, trying to open up a 2-score lead. There's an awkward pass down low to KJ, but she grabs it and flips it in from the left block to open up that 2-score lead at 59-54.
Absolutely needed to have KJ show up in this game, and she has big time.
Bessel swoops in for a layup. She misses, but is fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line. Talia Scott called for that. That's her third. Well, you mentioned Kirsten Johnson, Lori. She's a point away from a double-double. She has 9 points, 10 rebounds, and matched her career high with 5 blocked shots.
That was absolutely a difficult angle for her to finish from the left side on that assist from Bella Fauntleroy.
Bessel hits the first free throw after the Scott foul. One more coming. Bessel tonight, that's her first scoring. First free throw good. Second is as well to make it a one-possession game once again. 59-56 Baylor. Bugs harassed in the backcourt, having some trouble getting in, nearly throws it away. Bella comes there to save it. That was dangerous. I tell you what, Davidson makes life tough on those inbound passes in the backcourt when they want to. Bugs swings it left side to Bella Fauntleroy. She turns and faces the basket. Wants to get it back to Bugs, but good defense inside by Donovan. Baylor will keep it on the perimeter. Here's Talia Scott to the top of the key. Retreats beyond the three-point arc. Finds KJ down low. She can't quite finish from the right side. Fights for the rebound, but spikes it to Dunn. Here comes Davidson down by 3. Baylor up by a score 59-56 with 2.5 minutes to go. There's a handoff to Dunn. Thought about a 3. Drives inside. Kicks it in the corner. Extra pass up top. Bessel gets inside and lays it in on KJ. All 5'9" of Bessel got the best of KJ there, and it's a 1-point Baylor lead with 2:17 to play. Well, Baylor just can't really put any distance between themselves and Davidson. Now, Davidson has not been able to do so against the Bears either. Just over 2 minutes to play. Here's Talia Scott, top of the arc, finding Bugs in the corner. Van Geitenbeek. She drives baseline, kicks it back to Bugs, swoops inside for 2. Good collaboration there between the two fourth-year players, Van Geitenbeek and Bugs.
They were on the same page that time as, again, Jana touches the paint and is just able to find that cutting Bugs, who finishes at the rim.
Dozen points for Bugs. Jana's matched her season average with 5 assists. It's a 3-point Baylor lead. Dunn tries to change that, but she's too strong on a 3. Brundonks tries to keep the rebound alive, but Van Geitenbeek comes out of there with it. Just over 90 seconds to play in this one. Baylor with the ball and a 3-point lead, 61-58. Here's Talia Scott taking the handoff. Center of the floor, Bessel guarding her, around to KJ screen, looks to get downhill and has the ball taken away from her by Donovan. We've seen her drive into a crowd a lot tonight, and we saw it again there. That leads to a turnover. Here is Donovan driving inside, and Bugs is fouled out. Boy, that's a tough one to end the night on, but Donovan drove inside awkwardly, and Bugs got a hand in there, pulled it away, and she fell to the floor. And that's the end of the night for Bugs, who started strong and finished strong. She had Baylor's first 6 points. She finishes with 12 and 5 tonight. But the Bears are going to be without their leading rebounder here for the final minute and 8 seconds, as the two teams will visit briefly here.
Boy, that is just disappointing for Bugs to foul out, because it probably more than half the fouls were touch fouls. You know that Donovan was going in and attacking Bugs, knowing that she had four fouls, but it's just like feet got tangled up, and then Bugs is the one who gets the call.
Yuting Dong back in for the Bears. She has 7 points off the bench tonight. Baylor up by 3, a minute 8 to go. Davidson to play it in from the baseline. They find Dunn. Bella stays with her defensively. Dunn kicks it in the corner. Brundocks left wing. Gives it to Garcia, cuts to the basket. Garcia harassed as we're under a minute to go. She wants to drive inside, has her shot blocked by KJ. That's a career-high 6 of them, and a big defensive stop for the Bears. With the basketball up by 3, 50 seconds to go. Talia Scott slowing it down here with 45 seconds remaining. 61-58. A bucket here would be huge for the Bears and put Davidson in a tough spot. Scott around the screen, circles back beyond the arc. We're down to 8 seconds to shoot for the Bears. Scott directs traffic with 5 to shoot, with 4, gets inside, gets to the basket, flips it up and misses. Oh, KJ tries for the offensive rebound, but a shot clock violation is called. It looked like she might have been undercut for a foul, but it was not called, and a timeout is called by Davidson. That's one where the shot not hitting the rim made all the difference in the world, because KJ almost had the offensive rebound, had a player underneath her, and when the shot clock hit 0, that ended the play.
Yeah, that was Davidson has done such a good job on Talia, not letting her turn the corner and get to a comfortable shot off the glass. And again, you're right. You don't hit the rim, you don't have enough time left to be able to do anything. I thought, KJ got her hands on that, could have been fouled, but no foul call. So 25.2 seconds left, and Davidson will have the ball down 3 to Baylor, 61-58.
Baylor has held him without a point for the last 2 minutes and 1 second. Lori, a few things to take note of. The possession arrow favors Baylor if that becomes an issue. Dariana Little-Page-Buggs has fouled out. Davidson has 2 players with 4 fouls apiece. Elena Strauss and Kira Brundonks. Baylor has no one with 4 right now. And the Bears are up 3, 61-58. Davidson has struggled from beyond the arc tonight, just 3 of 21. They take 21 threes a game. They hit 37%, but tonight Baylor has held them to 14% from downtown. But I think you got to look for Dunn or maybe Brundonks here. Brundonks has been quiet tonight beyond the arc, 0 of 3. Dunn is 2 of 9 from downtown, but both very capable when you just need one. It will be Davidson to play it in from the left side of the floor, out of the timeout, down 3, 25 seconds left. Inbound to Garcia, left corner. She is looking for Dunn. Wants to drive, gets inside, slips in on Markayla Johnson and lays it in. So they go for 2 and call the timeout. And Baylor will have to play it in, and Davidson will try to either force a turnover or, short of that, foul the Bears out of the timeout. But Dunn drove inside for the layup. She's got 21 points, and it is a 1-point game with 17 seconds to play. With that Davidson timeout, they have just 1 remaining. The Bears have 3 timeouts remaining and also have a foul to give should they need it. So possession arrow favors Baylor. Baylor has a foul to give. Bears are shooting the penalty and have plenty of timeouts at their disposal should they need them. Boy, Davidson, Baylor hasn't been able to put them away tonight.
I think what Baylor wants to do is make sure that they get the ball in the hands of Talia Scott. And I'm talking about for foul purposes.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to put it in the hands of your best free throw shooter.
She is 7 of 8 from the stripe tonight, approaching 90% from the line on the season. She is up in the upper echelons of the nation in free throws made, and you want to get it into her. Well,
I mean, you know who you don't want to get it in the hands of. I mean, that's what's going to be very interesting. Do they just go in and foul real quickly to preserve some time on the clock and just make Baylor score from the free throw line?
Baylor is going to send Jana Van Geitenbeek and Yuting Dong way in the backcourt. They use the midcourt inbounds option, actually right in front of the Baylor bench. It will be Bella to play it in, Scott and KJ in front of her, and then out deep like wide receivers, you've got Van Geitenbeek and Dong. So they hand it to Bella. They are counting down, play it into KJ. She gets it back to Bella, and Bella is fouled with 14 seconds to go. Good job there. They didn't throw it back onto the Davidson side of the floor. Something got the Davidson crowd a little upset there, but Bella is going to the free throw line for 2 big free throws. She's been good from the stripe this season, 11 of 12. Struggled last year, but she's much improved this year, and with 14 seconds to go, she's trying to push the Baylor lead back to 3. Adina Strauss will check back in along with Bessel, some size and defense in for the shooting of Dower and Donovan. Bella to the free throw line. 61-60 the score. Baylor leads, 14 seconds left. Kyla Abraham will return for defensive purposes should she get the opportunity. First free throw, good. Spins it home. Bit of a line drive shot, but it falls for the Bears, and it's a 2-point game. Coach Nikki clapping encouragement along the Baylor bench. And Bella will get one more look at it. One dribble, free throw up, good. Two big free throws by the veteran and a timeout called. Bella Fauntleroy at the line pushes the Baylor lead back to 3, Lori, 63-60 with 14 seconds left.
Those are huge because I know all of us and the fans in the stands for Baylor felt that too. Big free throws there from Bella Fauntleroy with a lot of pressure on her. She has been really good from the free throw line here in the early part of her senior season.
And, you know, the offensive game hasn't been here this weekend. She was 1 of 10 last night, struggled again this evening, just 1 of 4. But, boy, you have a veteran like that. Doesn't matter when you get in the late moments if they've struggled offensively. You still want them and need them to step up, and Bella Fauntleroy did that there, hitting those free throws.
Yeah, she's 93% on the season. So it's just been outstanding from there, and those are pressure-packed. You know, I almost wanted to pull my usual and not watch, but this time I said, you know what? Bella has not disappointed us this season. So I watched Bella knock down those 2 free throws, and now it's all about the defensive effort here.
Davidson will play it in front of their bench. They're out of timeout, so they have to get it in. It will be Brundogs playing it in, and Baylor fouls them. Boy, Baylor ran up behind and fouled. Now, Baylor had a foul to give. The Davidson bench wants that to be called intentional, and they're going to look at it.
Was she trying to get over a screen?
I think so, but it definitely looked awkward and a little over-aggressive. But let's get a look at the replay here. Sometimes you see the replay, and it looks different than in real time. We're down to 13.1 seconds to go. That's on Talia Scott. It's her 4th. And Baylor still has 1 to give. Well, that was Baylor's 1 to give, so the next one will put Davidson in the bonus. But they're not showing the replay for us here. Let's see if you can get a look over there, Lori, at the ESPN monitor to your right. Talia Scott came running in from behind, maybe tried to knock the pass away, but whatever the case, she did foul. The question is, was it intentional in any way? That very much changes the equation, because then it's free throw in the ball. Here's a look at the replay.
Well, they both went sprawling.
Well, they're taking a look at it over there, Talia Scott, and they were playing it in, I believe, to Brundogs? No, to Bessel.
Yes.
And we'll see if we can get that look again. But right now the officials are taking some time. A big call here. This is the difference between whether or not you just have to foul them again, or whether you've got a situation in which Davidson is going to have a chance to potentially tie or take the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And they are really looking at it here with 13.1 seconds to go. You know, obviously, if it's an intentional foul, you're talking about something different than a garden variety foul, even with Baylor having 1 to give there. And so instead of it being kind of like, well, maybe I don't know if Baylor wanted them to foul there without any time coming off the clock. But whatever the case, that's reasonably harmless, although it takes a card away that you can play. And now the officials are calling. Again, that card would be that you could play there if you don't foul them. You got 1 to give. You lose that, but now not only do you lose that, you potentially have a intentional foul on your hands. And the way the officials are talking, they're definitely thinking about it. Definitely thinking about it here with 13.1 seconds to go. Boy, Baylor had some unforced errors on Thursday night against Iowa. And this would be a big one if so. Now they're going to call both coaches over, and tell you what, Laura, I don't know if this is good for the Bears. Can you read lips over there to the ESPN crew? We'll see. The officials are talking it over with both coaches here, and I think we're okay. I think the way Coach Nikki just reacted, I think it is just going to be a garden variety foul.
It was just a hard foul.
Hard foul.
Well, we knew that was.
We knew that, but it is not. I think what they're saying between the lines is that it was not intentional. And that's you'll take that. So now Baylor will try to play defense again for 13.1 seconds, up by 3, 63-60. It'll be Brundox to play it into Bessel. Bessel makes a beeline for the basket. Kyla Abraham stays with her. She forces up a tough shot and misses. Offensive rebound, Garcia. Kick out to Dunn for 3 and the tie, and she hit it. Another offensive rebound for Davidson, and they find their best shooter for a kick out, and Dunn knocks down the 3 to tie it with 4 seconds left.
Boy, they got a not good look at the basket, but Baylor not able to pull down the rebound. They kick it out, and that was just a drained 3. But the good thing, Baylor able to take a timeout, advance the basketball, and they'll look at if there's any time left to add to the clock. Right now there's 4 seconds left.
Yeah, I tell you what, Lori, with inside of 10 seconds to go, Baylor played good defense. You absolutely want Bessel taking an off-balance shot, but Garcia kept that rebound alive. She tipped it. She got another offensive rebound, and at the moment, second chance points number 12, 13, and 14 are their biggest as they tie the game with 4 seconds left. Now the Bears are going to try to walk it off. Baylor does have 2 timeouts left if they have trouble getting it in. Possession arrow favors the Bears, and Davidson is over the limit. It'll be Dong to play it in from the end of the Baylor bench. 4.2 seconds to play. They put 2:10 back on the clock. Not having trouble getting in, and she nearly throws it away, and she does throw it away. Trying to hit a cutting KJ to the basket. She threw it low. KJ got a hand on it and knocked it out of bounds. Davidson is out of timeout, so they're going to have to go the length. They're going to have to go the length of the floor with 3.3 seconds left. Now Baylor can't foul here. Dong and KJ check out. Back in for the Bears, Kyla Abraham and Markayla Johnson for defensive purposes. Wow. 3.3 seconds left. Davidson in this tie game will go the length of the floor. They play it into Dunn, who lets it fly from 3/4 court, and that's off the top of the rim. She probably had another couple of dribbles, but just let it fly from about 75 feet, and we go to overtime. 63 all here at the end of regulation as Charlie Dunn hits a 3 with 4.2 seconds left to tie this game up and send it to overtime, first overtime game of the season for the Bears. We'll take a timeout, regroup, and come back here to Kissimmee where Baylor and Davidson will play 5 more minutes here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by. Let's be friends.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
To overtime we go here in Orlando. Baylor and Davidson knotted up at 63, and Davidson has a little of the momentum right now. Baylor had a 5-point lead much of the fourth quarter, but Davidson was able to hit a couple of key baskets and then drain a 3 with 4 seconds left to tie the game. A couple of things to note. Dariana Littlepage-Buggs has fouled out. Now Talia Scott has 4 fouls. 4 fouls apiece for Brundonks and Strauss for Davidson. Baylor out there with Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Fauntleroy, Dong, and Johnson, KJ. She'll jump at midcourt with Strauss, and KJ sends it back to Jana Van Geitenbeek, and we're underway here in overtime. Van Geitenbeek swings it left side of the floor to Bella Fauntleroy, drives inside on Strauss, and is called for an offensive foul. And now Bella has 4 fouls.
Boy, Strauss just set her feet at the block. Right there.
Yep. And Bella, who's so adept at drawing charges, is called
It's almost
for
like
a charge.
Bella could have put the ball on the floor, just maneuvered a little bit, and just had more of a teardrop shot.
Dunn thought about another 3, but well guarded by Bella Fauntleroy. She picks up her dribble, swings it to Donovan, who chases down the errant pass, wants to drive inside on Talia Scott, who has 4 fouls. She's in the paint, leans inside, kicks it out to Strauss, single digits on the shot clock, and she walked with the basketball. That is a 3-second violation, I beg your pardon, on Davidson. So Davidson turns it over. Lori, Baylor, if they win this game, is going to have to do so with some players who you don't count on as much in crunch time. You know, you look at this right now, you've got, Jana Van Geitenbeek was out much of last year. You've got Yuting Dong, a young player. KJ, who's in her first year with the Bears. Got a lot of newcomers out there. Pass down low to Fauntleroy. They're going to her regularly, and she misses a layup. Oh, she got right in close and missed the layup. Baylor executed the play well, but she couldn't hit. Now Dunn into the front court with 4 minutes to play here in overtime. Wants to drive in on Scott, leans in, finds Strauss down low, and somehow she misses the shot, and it's not good. Baylor not called for a foul, but there's an offensive rebound by Davidson, and now as they miss the shot, Bella tips the rebound all the way out near midcourt, out of bounds to Davidson with 11 seconds to play. 11 seconds to shoot, I beg your pardon, 3:47 to play. Tell you what, Baylor is missing some good opportunities at one end and then giving Davidson additional opportunities at the other. And it'll be Donovan to play it in from Baylor's side of the floor, about 10 feet beyond the Baylor bench. Plays it in to Bessel. Bessel running point right now. Feeds it to Donovan, who hands it right back to her. She drives inside and shoots wildly over the backboard. Good defense there by the Bears.
Goodness, because they are attacking the glass right now.
We're tied at 63 here in overtime, 3:39 to play. And Bella will play it in. They're pressured in the backcourt. She gets it in to Talia Scott. Scott jogging near midcourt and crosses the stripe. Neither team has scored here in overtime. Fauntleroy to Jana Van Geitenbeek. Up top to Talia Scott. Puts it on the floor. Drives inside. Gets a step on Strauss. Lays it in. Count it. And put her on the line.
Boy, that time she actually had a little bit of daylight. And Strauss, who's, I think that's her 5th foul, had to just put the hip into her. And what a finish from Talia Scott.
That is the 5th on Strauss. Now they're going to bring Garcia back in. She's a good player for them. And she is back in, but Talia Scott going to the free throw line where she has a chance at a 3-point play. It's not been an efficient night for Talia. 5 of 17, but she is 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Free throw is up and got the bounce. She's got 20 points again for the 6th time in her 6-game Baylor career. Baylor is up by 3, 66-63, with 3:20 to play in overtime. Donovan with the ball at the top of the arc, hands it to Bessel, switching off here. It is Talia Scott guarding her. She's looking for Cutting Garcia, having trouble. Now looks to feed it outside to Dunn. Dunn has it high on the left wing, looks to drive near the top of the arc, gets inside, right of the lane, puts up a tough shot, and is fouled. Who is that going to be on? That is on KJ and not Fauntleroy.
I didn't see KJ in there, but thank goodness.
Yeah, I didn't either, but you'll take that. That is foul number 3 on KJ. And it's going to send Dunn to the line. Dunn, an 85% free throw shooter on this season. First free throw is up, and it is good. She's 4 of 5 tonight. She's got a double-double tonight, 24 points, 10 boards. And she leads all scorers in this one. She's got one more free throw, can cut the Baylor lead to 1, and that also is good. 66-65 Bears. Inbounds to Talia Scott. Harassed in the backcourt by Donovan. It's a 1-point edge. Slimmest of leads for the Bears. Talia Scott nearly loses the dribble, but it bounces to Fauntleroy. Gives it up to Yuting Dong. Floats it back outside to Scott. Scott, center of the floor, 2:45 to play. Dribbles inside, gets inside on Garcia, fires up a tough turnaround, leaves it short. Rebounded Dunn. Here comes Davidson with a chance to reclaim the lead They're looking to make their first bucket here in overtime. She dribbles to the right block, dribbles inside, tries to swoop in on Bella Fauntleroy. Good defense by Bella. She forces the miss. Rebound out of bounds, though, to Davidson. How many of those have we seen tonight where Baylor forces a miss but then can't grab the rebound, and this is out of bounds to Davidson? But tell you what, that's good defense anyway by Bella. Exceptionally good with 5 fouls on her. But now Davidson will play it in, down 1 with 2:23 to play, and then Bella spikes the inbounds pass away. Coach Nicky trying to argue that it might have bounced off a Davidson player, but to no avail. Look at Michael Mott and Aaron Sternick over there rapidly consulting the replay on their iPad over there, but they don't see anything that says to challenge. Inbounds bounced to Bressel. Bessel, I beg your pardon, dribbles to the middle of the floor. Davidson with the ball down 1. 10 seconds to shoot. Bessel outside to Donovan. Dribbles inside. Dung guarding her. She leans in, kicks it out. Garcia for 3, and she left it short. Scott is fouled as she goes after the rebound, but there's no whistle. However, it's knocked out of bounds by Davidson.
Goodness.
Tell you what, I really thought she was fouled there by Bessel, but no whistle. And Baylor will play it in with 2:03 to play.
Wow. They just showed it on the replay as well.
I mean, it looked like she got bodied, maybe even grabbed a little bit. Well, Baylor with the basketball in a 1-point lead, 66-65. And they are drying up the floor, which gives everyone a chance to catch their breath just a little bit. Possession arrow favors Davidson. Baylor with 3 timeouts left, Davidson with 1. Both teams over the limit foul-wise. Baylor plays it into Talia Scott as we're under 2 minutes to play. Scott across midcourt. Dribbling with the left hand, now switches over. Guarded by Dower, around a screen, nearly loses her balance, gets inside, kicks it out to Dong for 3, and she knocks it down! Biggest shot of Dong's young Baylor career, and the Baylor lead is 4 with just under 100 seconds to play. 69-65, first double-digit game for Yuting Dong, and what a clutch 3 there with the shot clock dwindling.
Ooh, and an assist from her former Auburn teammate.
But now Dunn answers. She gets inside, good position, and lays it in to cut the lead in half. Now Baylor is fouled on the inbounds pass. Garcia stalking, trying to play defensive back, looking for an interception. Instead, she fouls KJ from behind. Well, tell you what, Dunn has been she's been a good player all year long. She's the leader for Davidson. She's been great tonight, 28 points, 11 rebounds, and that layup there cut the Baylor lead in half, but now Baylor with a chance to push it to 3 or 4 here on these KJ free throws after that Garcia foul. That foul on Garcia now is her 4th. Dower will exit and Brundonks will check back in. 2 big free throws coming for KJ. She is 3 of 4 tonight. Minute 18 to play. First one up, it rattles out. So it will remain a 1-point game no matter what here if she makes the free throw. Couple of dribbles for the 6'4 senior in her first year with the Bears. Second free throw up, and she got the bounce. Double-double now for KJ, her first as a Bear. 10 points, 11 boards. It's a 3-point game, 1:17 to play and counting. Here's Davidson in the front court, down 70-67. It's done. Feeding Garcia, right side to Brundonks. Now up top. It is Bessel. She wants to drive inside on KJ. Can't do it. So kicks outside. Oh, and Bella Fauntleroy just fouled out. They kicked it outside to Dunn. Bella was running up to guard her, and they just collided there as she stepped in for the pass. That is 5 on Bella Fauntleroy, and her night is done. Baylor is going to miss her defense for the final minute and 2 seconds. And that'll bring Markayla Johnson in. You know, look at this, Laura. You're here in overtime, and just a lot of young players or players who haven't been in a Baylor uniform very long. And now as Dunn goes to the free throw line, she can make it a 1-point game. Bella has fouled out, and Markayla Johnson, the true freshman, is in. Now, how big was that three-pointer by Dong a minute ago? First free throw by Dunn is up and good. Really has changed the final minute. But still, Davidson far too close for comfort. One more free throw coming. It's up, and it's good, and it's a 1-point game. 70-69, Baylor with the ball and the lead. Dong plays it into Van Geitenbeek. There's pressure in the backcourt. We're under a minute to go. Jana Van Geitenbeek crosses the midcourt stripe. 53 seconds to play. 20 on the shot clock for the Bears. Need a bucket here. Van Geitenbeek around a screen. Dribbling to the right side of the floor, swings it to Dong, looking inside, puts it on the floor, handoff to Talia Scott. We're down to 9 to shoot. Scott to the free throw line, her jumper too strong, and the rebound is grabbed by Garcia. They're off and running down 1 with 33 seconds to go. Davidson with an opportunity to take the lead here, about 5 seconds, but maybe 6 between the clocks. 70-69 Bears. Bessel to Dunn, outside to Garcia, right side to Dower. An offensive foul is called on Davidson on the moving screen. Away from the ball, Bessel too aggressive. She fouls out. More importantly, that gives it back to the Bears with 20 seconds to go.
Ooh, and right in the middle of that was Markayla Johnson, a Baylor freshman.
You look at this, Lori, how much experience is out there right now for the Bears in overtime? A lot. You hope this is valuable experience for them, but right now you just want to win the game. And that foul by Bessel helps the Bears. It gives it back to him with 20 seconds to go. Coach Nicky calls a timeout, and they'll play it in from the Baylor bench. Baylor with 2 timeouts left. Well, Davidson with 1.
Yeah, the one really good thing is you've got Jana Van Geitenbeek out there, a fifth-year senior, or a fifth-year graduate student. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Am I right? With a lot of experience. Now this is her first year starting, so, but at least very comfortable and confident with the ball in her hands.
So now Baylor will play it in. It'll be Yu-Ting Dong to play it in. Baylor lines up Van Geitenbeek, Markayla Johnson, and Kayla Nelms in the backcourt. Talia Scott coming in to fight and get the basketball, and she does. Now she is harassed and fouled by Davidson. That's who Baylor wanted to shoot these free throws, and that is who will. Talia Scott, 20 points again tonight. She is 8 of 9 from the free throw line. And with 18 seconds left, she's going to try to make it a 3-point game once again. 70-69, Baylor with the lead as Talia Scott goes to the line. Kayla Nelms checks in for the Bears. Actually, I beg your pardon. She is exiting, and it'll be Kyla Abraham in. Kirsten Johnson will return for Baylor in place of Yu-Ting Dong.
Baylor going double big, trying to look to get some offensive rebound bodies in there if needed.
First free throw by Scott, perfect. It's a 2-point game with 18 seconds left. 71-69. Couple of dribbles by Talia Scott playing in her home state. She hits them both. 3-point game. Davidson calls their final timeout. 72-69 Bears with 18 seconds to go, and we'll see what Davidson draws up. Now, Lauren, a couple instances like this lately, down 3, they've gone to the basket. They've passed up the 3 and gone to the basket. And, in fact, it was an offensive rebound that allowed them a kick out for their game-tying 3 at the end of regulation. But we'll see what they do here. 18 seconds is enough time that you have some options. So Baylor's got to be ready for anything. And again, you're without 2 of your best defenders, probably your 2 best defenders in Bella Fauntleroy and Dariana Littlepage Buggs, having both fouled out.
Well, Baylor's got the rim protectors in there and the rebounders in Kyla and KJ. But look, there's a ton of discussion out there from Jana Van Geitenbeek talking with Markayla Johnson, encouraging her. I mean, she just picked up the big charge foul. And now it's just all about the defensive effort here.
18 seconds left in overtime. Davidson will play it in by their bench, down by 3. Inbound comes to Alvarez. Alvarez to the left wing. Kicks it out to Dunn. She's fouled on the 3. And Talia Scott is fouled out. That was a touch foul by Talia Scott, who's very frustrated. I did see a hand in there on Talia, and here's a look at the replay. Boy, that was not going to be a great look, and boy, Talia just grazed her. It was a touch foul, but they called it, and now Dunn is going to go to the free throw line for 3 free throws with a chance to tie this game up from the line. She is on the evening tonight, 7 of 8 from the stripe, about a 90% free throw shooter this year. 12 seconds left, first free throw good. Touch foul on Talia Scott. She is fouled out. Third Bear to foul out tonight. Second free throw by Dunn, also good. You would expect that Baylor would burn a timeout here, really whatever happens. Free throw up, and we've got a tie ball game. She hit all three, and Coach Nikki calls a timeout. Boy, that's a tough one for the Bears. Yuting Dong back in, by the way, for Talia Scott. You know, that was just a case where Talia Scott put a hand up in the air and kind of grazed Dunn as she was coming down, and that was enough. And now Baylor has the ball, 12.3 seconds left, with an opportunity to try to win the game. You know, the previous time they had the ball, 4.3 seconds left, you could essentially try to make a move quick because you knew there wasn't much time left, and Davidson was out of timeouts. Now the equation has changed. Davidson's still out of timeouts, but you know, Baylor would like to drain this inside 2 or 3 seconds, you would think here. A lot of youthful players out there on the floor for the Bears, out of the timeout again, with Bugs, Bella, and Scott having all fouled out. It's Jana Van Geitenbeek, Kayla Nelms, Yuting Dong, Markayla Johnson, and Kirsten Johnson on the floor for the Bears out of the timeout. They'll play it in with 12.3 seconds left. Trying to walk it off here in overtime for a win. Van Geitenbeek plays it into Dong. Middle of the floor, 10 seconds left in overtime. Dong is going to start a drive with 6, with 5 drives inside, puts up a shot, banks it in! 3.6 seconds left. Inbounds to Dunn. They're out of timeouts. She's going to let it fly from midcourt, off the mark, and Baylor wins it in overtime. Yuting Dong with the game winner with under 4 seconds to go. Baylor wins it in overtime, 74-72. How about that? Coach Nikki put it in the hands of young Yuting Dong, said make a play, and that she did, driving the lane, hanging in close, and kissing it off the glass with 3.6 seconds left. Davidson, I tell you what, seeing Dunn put up that shot from midcourt was scary, but it was off the mark, and you can exhale. Baylor wins it 74-72 in overtime.
Wow. You know what? They did. Coach Nikki said, here you go, Yuting. And just like the team would say, yeah, Ting.
Yeah.
But you know what? She did not look. She was fearless. That ball was in her hand. She went in confidently, strong, put it off the glass and in. You know, let me look back at there was a note I had for Yuting. Let me get to that real quickly. So you know just a little bit more about her.
Well, I'll tell you, Lori, as you look for that, I'll let people know this is her first double-digit scoring game as a Bear. 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting. You know, she's one of the big transfer portal pickups for the Bears this year, and I think it's taken her a little time to find her footing. But I think tonight was another sign that she's finding it.
Yeah, she was an SEC all-freshman team member. She averaged nearly 12 points in 12 games for Auburn, including doing this against Vanderbilt. So that's a salty team there. She had a career-high 27 points and 9 rebounds against Vanderbilt. She doesn't have a lot of experience, but she had those 8 big points at UNLV when she was 4 and 5, when Baylor needed her to be big in that third and fourth quarters. And boy, what a play at the rim, because nothing has been easy today for Baylor. I think this is the way they needed to finish, to be able to go home and to be able to, my goodness, sleep in their own beds and rest up. They've got a couple of games next week, one on Wednesday and one on Sunday, and hopefully they can get their legs back under them, because the travel's been hard, but you know what? You don't care how tired you are now that Yuting Dong has finished this game for Baylor in overtime. There weren't many bodies left, and Yuting had to put an exclamation point on this one.
74-72 the final. Yuting Dong hits the game-winning layup with 3.6 seconds left in overtime. Baylor improves to 5-1 on the season. The First Central Credit Union postgame show is coming up next. We'll visit with Bears head coach Nikki Collin, likely hear from a player as well, and Give you stats, scores, and more following a 74-72 Baylor win in overtime, a thriller over Davidson. You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to Nextlink Internet. With Nextlink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, Nextlink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give Nextlink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. And when it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. With the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Never deposit someone else's money into your bank account. Scammers will send you money or overpay you and then ask you to refund a portion of the money back to them. This is a scam.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
This has been live coverage of Baylor women's basketball. Now it's time for the First Central Credit Union post-game show. Brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor women's basketball. Nissan, innovation that excites. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we break down